Atlanta, Georgia, the home for fan-controlled football, and the action in Season 2.0 continues tonight with our Week 2 Man-Up Challenge, our King of the Hill battle, plus our Week 2 draft, as you, the fans, get a chance to continue to shape your rosters ahead of 4 pivotal games this weekend here in Atlanta, Georgia. We welcome you to this custom production facility inside historic Pratt Pullman Yards, the home of fan-controlled football here in Season 2.0. As we get ready for an exciting great Week 1 in the book, Season 2.0. The energy was high. You're still buzzing. Your big takeaways from this past weekend.
Oh, my big takeaways are not only did I vet show out, but we had some young rookies do some things this last weekend. Quantez Stiggers, 3 picks, 1 pick to the end zone. Come on. Like, that's the type of football we're trying to create out here, and I loved it. I was excited. I'm trying to see some new guys show up today.
Now, Sean, a chance here for fans to keep building their squads, and they saw some big performances on Saturday. I know some players jumped out at you.
Oh, absolutely. You look across the board in all 4 games, there's countless guys that jumped out, maybe surprised you a little bit, some that didn't, some were who we thought they were. So I think the challenge for the fans today is going to
past Saturday. Good back and forth action as we take you back to some of the highlights. It started off with the Beast taking on the Glacier Boys. Right, this was an OG matchup going back to last season, and that man Andrew Jamil did what he does best.
What he does best. Go ahead and hug himself, because he's in the end zone already. So he's just going to go hug himself and give himself high fives. Come on, who does this? He does it. That's why he's a vet, and he's going to be what we call FCF All-Pro. He will be the player of the year this year. That's my.
I'm calling it now. Player of the year here, Week 2.
Ray.
We're recording this.
I can't do that. I can do that.
You can do whatever you like. The commish. So the Beast defeated the Glacier Boys 36-20. Seeing some action there. Board Ape over KOD 36-32. Stars take on the Zappers as we're looking back at a collage here of highlights. Stars would defeat the Zappers 20-12, and then Adoki in a thriller 28-26. Sean, players that emerged in Week 1, was there a diamond in the rough for you, someone that came out of nowhere?
Sure, and I told him this on the field during the game, was Terry Jones. Terry Jones is a guy that maybe was a little bit undervalued, under the radar, and he certainly went out there and proved all the doubters wrong. Had a big-time game, got into an old gunslingers shootout with Mitch Kidd there in the nightcap, and what was, to me, an instant classic in the FCF.
That was a thrilling finish, and then it was the debut of Terrell Owens. Ray, he makes his first touchdown grab. It's what the fans came to expect, and maybe more of that this Saturday.
That's got to be the oldest person that's ever scored a touchdown, and probably looks better than 99% of the world right now. He's a superhero, and everybody, I think the people at home don't understand the type of ability that we get to see here at the FCF with Terrell being here. I have nothing but respect for him out here, being able to go out here with these young guys that are 20 years younger than him, and he's out here just being a pro, like he's used that the TO for being here. And
we are thrilled to have him here in the Saturday. Now let's welcome in the field. Here's Lace Larrabee.
Season 2 was a huge numbers as well. There were 2 4.5 million views across Twitch. From season 1. FCF highlights generated over 15 million views across social platforms. Of course, with Terrell Owens' touchdown catch that received 10 million views and made it to SportsCenter's top 10. Y'all, the fans are showing up for fan control football. And I tell you what, I am here for it. Back to you, Greg.
Excellent stuff, Lace. Those numbers legit across the board. You love to see the audience is growing. People are starting to figure it out. FCF, something you want to be a part of. Here's what's ahead here tonight as we talk about our Wednesday evening schedule. We have our Man Up Challenge that'll culminate with our King of the Hill battle. Best 2 out of 3. Offense against defense. Then we'll announce our keepers, a new change here in week 2, figuring out the foundational elements that are going to help build these teams going into our week 2 draft. That's where you, the fans, come in so clutch. Who do you want on your roster? You have to decide who to pick. Again, get in that FCF app. Make sure you're downloaded and registered so that you have an idea of who you can pick for your team and who you want to have suit up this Saturday. Man Up, here's a look at the way this also how we decide the extra points, right? Right, you're a defensive back in your day. I know how we hash some things you might want to draft.
Yeah, you know, for your own. We see these guys in practice playing in college, so we this is our way of kind of offering them up to you guys, so you can see the type of athletes and ability that these players have, and see them compete, see them go at it, see their technique, see their conditioning. Because with the way the drill is, if they keep winning, they're gonna keep being on. So you're going to see that. Do I want this guy on my team because he has the ability and the conditioning to play all 4 quarters? You'll get to see that today in the Man Up.
Yeah, 2 20-minute halves, a running clock. As Ray alluded to, we're looking for consecutive streaks here on offense and defense. That's how you advance to our King of the Hill battle. And then if you're the winner, we'll have either a quarterback receiver winner or we'll have a defensive winner. You carry in essentially a do-over on a Saturday. It makes you all the more valuable when we're talking about the draft. Here's our challenge participants as we look ahead. Coach, how do you assemble these combinations? And then what are you looking for from a coaching standpoint as far as how they work together?
Well, I think they have a challenge when they put them together just because they're trying to put guys together that maybe have a little bit of a rapport, and a little bit of a connection. And I think you see that, with some of the connections that have been put together here these first 2 weeks. Obviously, Slade and Boykin are here to defend the crown, so to speak, right? And, it's going to be very, very interesting to see, if they're able to do it, because for a lot of these guys, as you mentioned, it is an opportunity. The fans remember what they see last a lot of times before they draft. So it's a great opportunity for these guys to showcase themselves and move up a lot of these teams' draft boards.
And we're also going to get a chance to see Devlin Isidore for the first time. He was out last week. Let's meet all of our participants. Here's our public address announcer with more KD Bow.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now introducing your FCF Week 2 Man Up roster. On the offense, the first pair is quarterback Slade Jarman, paired with wide receiver Tyus Boykin.
Go 5-8, I got it.
The second pairing, quarterback Devlin Isidore, paired up with wide receiver Jordan Smith. The third pairing, quarterback Devon Gibbons, paired up with wide receiver Joseph Boykin. The fourth pairing on the offense, quarterback Terry Jones, paired up with wide receiver Maurice Thomas. The fifth pairing, quarterback Alfonso Howard, paired up with wide receiver Terelle West. The sixth pairing, quarterback Brian Allen, paired up with superback Darryl Virginia. Quarterback Laquan Horton, Jacoby Baker. Quarterback Bryson Ali. Now, on the defense, back, Curtis Copy. Number 28, Mike Lee. Linebacker, Jim Jones. Number 2.
That's a tough matchup against a linebacker there. That's a tough. I mean, he drew a tough assignment there, and I think the key to these linebackers in this drill, they got to get hands on right away.
Absolutely.
If they don't get contact. See, he tried to throw a hand and didn't get it. And it's just too much separation. He doesn't have a chance there.
You got to disrupt that route from the beginning. Them first 2 steps, if you've got to get your contact and put your hands on that wide receiver.
Now, Ronald Marlborough here, you know, Marlborough is probably the most physical defensive back we have in terms of playing the run fits, getting himself down. He's a true safety type.
100%. He made a tackle on the sidelines on the quarterback last week, and you heard it and felt it.
Yeah, true safety. So for him, this competition's a little bit unique as well because he's not a pure cover guy. So it's a nice chance for him to showcase his skills doing something he's not known for.
Absolutely.
This is Terry Jones now and Maurice Thomas.
He struggled there. You can see once he lost contact, he was in trouble. You know, and that's what the receiver's trying to do. The receiver's trying to get his hands off of him. You can see him try to slap his hands down, climb him, get on top of him. And once he does that, he's able to create that. See the separation,
exactly.
No chance.
And once he's up on top of the defensive back, he can go anywhere he wants to go.
And for the fans, we call that stacking the route, getting on top of the defensive back. Good hands. You see there? That's a good job.
All right, got to keep it going.
That's got to be blown. No, that's no good. No good.
No good. Okay.
No good.
3-second violation there. You have to get that football away in 3 seconds.
And we got to remember this. This happened last weekend with Isaiah. Isaiah ended up catching the ball, and none of the defensive backs touched him. So you got to finish that play regardless.
Yeah, this is in college.
This is in college. You got to make sure you finish that play.
Remember, we'll just keep cycling through both the offensive pairs and then the defensive players looking to build streaks here on both sides.
Super back, T. West. What a great route. What a great route. That's a great job by T. West.
And I can't even be mad at the defensive back. He was in really good position. That was just a heck of a route.
Really good ball placement, too. Is that Alfonso Howard? That's a really good ball. Yeah, Alfonso Howard. Really good ball.
That's Mike Lee defending.
I tell you, man, Mike Lee made some plays last week. I talked to Coach Gibson the other day, and I said, who is your guy that stands out? He said, man, if he puts it together, it's going to be Mike Lee.
There's West again. That was a little high.
looked like a little miscommunication there. He was pointing, Alfonso was pointing the other side of the end zone that he was at. So that happens with some of these multiple adjusting routes down here.
Mike Lee, D1 player out of Kansas, done seen it and done did it at the highest college level. So he knows he's a baller.
Now you guys talk about linebackers being physical against the smaller receivers. Here's a bit of a flip. How does Virgie use his size against the smaller corner?
I think it's a little different. See, you're gonna, and that's the thing about Virgie. Virgie's
a tough match.
Virgie don't care.
That's a tough matchup.
That is a tough matchup. It's an easier matchup for him if he's got a linebacker. If I was a cornerback going up against Virgie, I would not put my hands on him. I would just let him run his route and basically undercut those routes.
And I'm going to be honest with you, this is not Virgie's game. You know, his game is not running routes from the 10-yard line, against a defensive back. His game is running people over and running through holes, running violently.
This is Laquan Horton here and Jacoby Baker. Baker, the excellent week 1.
Oh, that's got to be PI. That's got to be PI.
Nothing.
That has to
now, hey, that's a little sticky. That's a little sticky. Let me see this pull.
Again, I am very thankful, Ray, that we have high-quality Russell Athletic jerseys because you can see they can take a pulling and not tear.
Ain't run wrong with a little tug, okay?
High-quality Russell Athletic.
That's a little high there. That was Vidal Woodruff looking to work with Bryson
I love
Lee.
that Mike Lee is staying so calm and patient. He's switching up. You can tell he's switching up his technique depending on who he goes up against. When he's going up against the running backs, he was a little bit in the end zone, kind of letting those guys come to him. When he's playing against the wide receivers, he gets up on the line and he puts his hands on them.
So Mike Lee now with the streak to beat, he's at a 4 right now, looking for 5 in a row. And he won't get there. It ends there, Mike Lee's streak, but that is the mark to beat right now on the defensive side for the offense able to convert.
Yeah, Boykin gets him on. Boykin gets him on the pressure cut here. That's what you call a pressure cut. You feel that pressure, feel that collision, and break back away from it. Use his leverage against him.
There's Jarman now working with Boykin, the champions in the week 1. They're back at it.
And it's so great to see the linebacker and wide receiver compare our competitions because it happens in the game. Sometimes it's going to happen where that linebacker is going to have to be in that box and be man-to-man to that wide receiver, and it's up to that quarterback to see that and make that play.
You're so right. It's only 7-on-7. You're going to have mismatches. It's going to happen here in the FCF. Jarman and Boykin now trying to keep this streak working. Falling down, running out of time, and knocked away. That was an excellent defensive effort from number 21, Roman Tatum.
Roman's a vet. Roman's a vet guy here. He's one of our better cornerbacks. He had a great last season. I depend on him being a leader on and off the field.
Here's Devlin Isidore again. Let's see what he does here. I know a lot of fans have eyeballs on him for what they want to do in the draft. I've heard his name thrown around a lot about an early pick here in the first round.
Here's Isidore working with Jordan Smith. Tatum defending.
That's too easy.
Look at that ball. Izzy hadn't been in practice for an entire week. He ended up having to go through the COVID protocol, but now he is back and he is ready. When I tell you guys, he is a DeAndre Francois type of quarterback. He is tall, smart, makes good plays, got a hell of an arm out there, and he can be mobile too as well.
Sean, for a guy who's just getting back into it, even if he doesn't win tonight, how important are these reps?
Absolutely, because he's showcasing himself to all the voters out there who are going to be drafting here in about an hour. So it's critical. Big time throw there. I mean, he showed it there. Put that in a really tough spot. Jordan Smith went up, made the catch. And, Jordan Smith is a guy that probably doesn't get some of the credit he deserves either. A season 1 guy, pure, deep ball threat. If Al Davis was around, he'd love Jordan Smith.
Pure athlete.
Because, just he'll go get it. He'll run by you. Just great deep ball player.
So 2 in a row now for Isidore and Smith. Trying to stop this streak. Curtis Collins in the Zappers uniform here defending. Remember, running the clock, but 11:20 to go. Up high, contested, and no grab. It'll end there at 2.
Great job by Curtis. This is what I like about what Curtis did. He didn't panic. I say this all the time. Listen, you might not be in the right position, but don't panic. He didn't look back for the ball. He played the defensive or the wide receiver's hands. Great play.
Absolutely. Attacked the hands, did a really, really good job.
Devon Gibbons, Joseph Boykin.
Yep, got him.
Oh, couldn't haul it in with the left. Boykin trying to hang on.
And I think what you see from some of these quarterbacks that are in this man-up challenge, they're guys who maybe weren't starters a week ago, but it's an opportunity for them to showcase what they can do. But they've got to see more accurate throws than we're seeing there. We're seeing, some lack of accuracy from those guys, and, could be a reason why they weren't starting.
Absolutely. I agree with you, Shara.
Terry Jones. The receiver, and I put that, I'll be honest, I put that on the receiver, Ray, because he squeezed that route. He let that route get so squeezed to that wall, that extra defender. He had no place to go.
He really did.
There was he allowed that wall to become another defender, made it easy on the
defensive back. That's such a great comment, Sean. And that defensive back, Curtis Collins, used that sideline as his second defensive back.
Absolutely.
So Curtis Collins now with 3 stops in a row. 4 is the mark right now for defenders.
Another good job.
Beep, another goes good high. Job. That's 4 in a row now for Collins, so he's equaled the mark to beat for defenders.
I love it, and I love the action that we're getting. We're not in a basketball court, at the rec room where everybody's calling a foul. It's like play ball. Let's go.
He may go on a little run here because he's got Verges now coming out of the backfield.
Verges trying to stop this run for Collins. And he does. Just when you think you have it figured out, Sean.
That's why you can predict it in the FCF. Verges bodied him up, made a nice little hands catch there. Did a good job.
And it's good to see Verges be versatile. We know he can run that rock. Anybody who's got, now he's a franchise guy. They know the Kingpins is going to get him as a runner. But you got to be able to do that. You got to be able to do that right there.
And that's a better matchup for him on the linebacker. I like him on the linebacker. I think when the running back like him is with a pure defensive back, it's a tough matchup.
It's tough.
The move by Darrell Verges, the big man, showing he has the skills and the footwork.
Brian Allen doing some good stuff out there, I see.
Oh, he hit him with a little play action.
Little play action for Verges. Can't pull that one in. Ronald Marlborough.
Quarterback's got to get that down. Brian's got to get that down. That should have been an easy throw for him. Way too high. Got to control that ball coming out that hand.
Nearing 8 minutes to go in our first half. 2 20-minute halves here in our new man-up challenge format in season 2.0. Looking for consecutive streaks that'll take you into a best 2 out of 3 after our second half.
Wow. Dot right there. Dot right there.
That's a good ball by Horton. A good ball by Horton, and a better route by Baker.
I tell you, man, the board ace with DeAndre Francois and Jacoby Baker, they got some skills back there in the offense, man.
Baker comes this way.
Oh yeah. I didn't like that route, but I like the way he pulled that in. I didn't like that route at all, but I like the way he pulled that in.
Good, strong hands catch again in traffic, contested ball. Really good
all
job.
That is, it's 59A for you, right?
There we go. Work on Shelton Lewis here. Second look.
Nice job.
Really, really strong ball.
Nice job.
Went to the well one too many times. That was the second time in a row. Same route. It got red. He's going against a pure DB there. It's a little different deal.
And when I say pure DB, you're talking a pure corner at the University of Kansas. This guy can play. Mike Lee is just showing you guys a little of what he's able to do.
He was an all Big 12 selection at Kansas and still has that ability to lay out
Oh yeah, it's draft night. How you doing? All right, bro.
I was nervous.
We've got so much to cover. We got to get it in
Yep.
here before the
Let's do it.
starts. Do me a favor. Let's start this thing off right. Hop in Discord right now. We control that tonight. Tell everybody to get their butts in here so we can talk strategy, all that good stuff. And you know what? We gotta have an owner on with us today, man. All right. And he's ready to kind of strategize with us, spend a little bit of time. Let's bring Mike on. What up, Mike?
Yeah. I love the intro, man. I was like about to just start partying, and then it just like cuts, and I'm like, oh, I gotta be ready.
You can't give it to them all right away. You know, we gotta take our time with it. All right. Well, let's get everybody in Discord. Let them know, Richie. Get in here. Let's review some of this stuff. And I'll keep popping up. The biggest issue we have, guys, is when you're doing that co-stream, everybody has a delayed feed on what's actually showing, right? So during the draft, it's always best to encourage everybody to whip out their smartphone, keep us on one stream, and then have the actual voting app since they have to vote on there anyways. So that's really how we need to structure it. Mike, man. Week one was dope, dude. Hanging out with you.
Hey, besides the loss, which it's what it is. Like, I mean, it was awesome, right? So it's funny to be like, oh man, it was so amazing, and then like, listen, we're trying to win, but in genuine nature, like, it was really really fun. That whole experience was like, I mean, it exceeded my expectations, and that's how I always judge everything. So, I mean, the people involved are super cool. Like, players are awesome, and just like. You can sense even in like warm-ups and how like they're carrying themselves, like how much they care about like the game, right? It's showing off their skills as a platform for them.
Yeah. And I mean, talking about week one, I mean, how great is that venue and being able to hang out there and be that close to the players? I mean, that is like real experience right there, like that close.
For sure. Yeah, and like I didn't see our stream, right? And I know that there's delays, but it feels like besides like some kinks we have to work out, like even seeing this stuff, seeing the prep that has gone into this pre-show, the draft, getting us coordinated, like we're a well-oiled machine already. That's just going to get like more clear on kind of like what we're trying to do and deliver on. Yeah, I think that's impressive in itself.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of other teams were saying, hey, you Knights of Degen really killed that draft. Like, you guys drafted well. The fact that we got the whole community and we all were pretty much on the same page for every pick was huge.
Yeah. Do you have a sense of, like, how other teams are organizing? What's the process? And, like are there – this is a different question, but it's related. Like, all this stuff is kind of public, right? So, like, is some of our work getting, like, used by other – teams too?
So that's why we kind of structured it this way, where it's 30 minutes before the draft starts, because most of these other guys are probably tuning into their teams, right? And they're hanging out together and doing their own thing. I mean, even Austin Eckler right now, he's co-streaming for his Should Have Been Stars, right?
For sure.
So yeah, do I think maybe people might jump in here and try to get some info? They can, but we've kept it close enough to before the draft that I don't think if they weren't doing their homework, they're not keeping up with us. That's for sure.
All right. I'm
well,
with it.
You know what?
Let's get into it.
All right. I'm tagging real quick. Let's tag the Discord one more time. Get everybody in here.
Already 2 steps ahead of you.
Nailed it. All right. Let's talk strategy, guys. Let me pull up our draft board. All right. More fist pumping for everybody. Guys, let's figure this out.
I'm only going
to. Oh, sorry. Oh. So let's figure this out, Richie, this is what we're thinking, Coach. Let me pull up what the draft is looking like. So here's the actual draft order this week. We got Glacier Boys at 1, Zappers at 2, Knights at 3. We're the number 3 pick in the draft. We nailed it today, guys. I mean, we as a community locked down Ed Crouch as our QB1. We knocked down Terelle West as our running back. So we've got a nice 1-2 to start, which definitely means going into this draft, we were studying hard on the wide receivers. Oh, you got both of them.
Sorry to derail us for a second. Just a question I should for sure know the answer to. But the draft order each week, how is that picked? Is it based on like because we lost and then is there a scoring deficit?
Yep. Loss, and then your point differentiators.
Yeah, that's what I just looking at the lineup. I was like, okay, this doesn't look random, but I just wanted to confirm.
Yeah, guys, we got Drew in there. Drew, we love our keepers too. Frothy in the chat, appreciate you. Peanut coming in with his breakdown and analysis. Peanut, love your analysis. So, guys, we really got a lot to break down with the committee this week. So, number one, we're leaning wide receiver. Community, we're leading wide receiver as our first pick. Okay.
Sorry, another derail moment. We got Billy here too.
Billy Billy, bro, your video, fire, bro.
Thank
you,
good,
yes. Dude.
Much love.
Yes.
Right? And
I saw the tweet. Next time I will add more, Coach Richie.
Yeah. You should have mentioned that on social, right?
I had to.
Guys,
can't even go 5 for 5 out there.
Everybody in the chat, round one, we are looking for a wide receiver. Okay. Now, got with the committee. We've got committee members that are going to be jumping on the show as well. But there's one target I want to talk about first. If he's there at number 3, we all should be queuing up Jacoby, Hollywood, Herring. Check this out.
Yes.
Now, Hollywood Herring is definitely a guy that we would want to try and get on our team. He's got some great height. One of very few receivers that has some height. He's 6'5", and he can, definitely be a weapon that we can get to Crouch. I mean, he had 2 catches for 2 touchdowns this past week, both of which were real nice catches in the end zone. And this league on a short field, that's what you want, a guy that's going to produce in the end zone.
Guys, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, 6'5". We've got a stellar running back. We got a quarterback that can take off and can put the ball where we need it. Hollywood Herring. Now, here's the other reasoning behind it. We've talked to several FCF quarterbacks, and including our quarterback, Ed Crouch. Herring's name comes up from everybody. The fact that he wasn't tagged was a little bit of a shocker. And I think it's one of those ones where we should really be going after this dude round 1. What are your thoughts, Richie?
I agree. Making that next level, not too much better than, high school, college stuff or that semi-pro. When you hear your quarterback talk, you're taking notice right away. At the end of the day, he knows what's best. He sees it from what his perspective is. He's throwing the ball around. That right there alone is already giving him some clout. A quarterback's not going to go out there and drop names for somebody he doesn't enjoy throwing to and has a rapport with. I mean, look at all these, NFL quarterbacks that go out and mingle with the receivers. What do you think these guys are doing? Mingling. So you got to take that. Then what Toby said. I love it. I love it.
So, Mike, what do you think with us having a big body receiver for Crouch?
Listen, I'm with it, but I think all this stuff is like, hey, I'm all for same page. Let's lock him in if we're there. But I mean, you're saying hey, he should have been tagged. That was a surprise. He's not. So there's a chance he goes 1-2, right? So
there is. But here's the thing: we had our FCF committee. We all got together and we put this together as well. Buckets, shout out for putting it together. Here's each team's what they franchise tagged and what their biggest need is. So Glacier Boys don't have a quarterback. So we know most likely they're taking one of those guys right off the gate.
But could you see them last week on our draft? We punted the QB2 because we knew that we punted the slot the slot receiver because we knew that we had that guy locked in, right? So the fact that no one else needs a QB, they could roll the dice basically.
They could. We agree with that 100%. But we're also looking at the fact that some of these other teams, for example, Bored Apes, they're really high on Izzy. They wanted Izzy off the gate, but Izzy was not eligible last week. Now that he's back, for them to go and grab a second QB, because remember, you can vote to switch him in and out whenever you want. So that would be the handcuff together. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they could pull a stunner on us.
Yeah. So what's our play if our guy's not there? I guess is my only question, because I'm with it. 6'5" receiver seems like we've got a favorite of all the quarterbacks. Like that speaks enough volume. I don't think we need to debate like that as our target.
Right, but we're on the same page with you, right? We need to know what the heck are we going to do if there's other receivers available. So this is saying that Herring's gone. One name we left off of this is because we really are keeping our fingers crossed that Herring's there. But Patrick Smith would be another big body receiver that works out really well. So we have him, Yeti, who we had last week, and we have Hollywood Herring as guys. Here's a little info on Patrick Smith.
Patrick Smith is a guy that we have been hearing his name from a lot of quarterbacks we've been talking to as we've been going through these drafts. And more importantly, Ed Crouch has named him as a receiver he'd like us to target. He's going to be a guy that probably isn't going to last on that board very long. He's high on a lot of people's boards, it seems. He didn't stick around in the draft last week too much. But, he's got a, high motor, decent perimeter blocking, great route running, and you would not be able to find a better value in the mid-rounds, to be honest.
So then the big question is, we also have Terrence Williams, who we drafted last week. He brings that veteran experience, right, from the Cowboys. He was a little rusty because he only got to camp 2 days before we drafted him. So in our eyes, especially with the rumors that Yeti might be a little banged up right now, number one, Herring. Number two becomes, is it that Patrick Smith or do we go T. Williams? I'm hoping we still can stay under the radar and get Williams coming back around. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at with the draft board, Mike, when it comes to wide receivers.
Yeah, I'm with it.
So the other thing we look at too is, you know what? I think we've got Toby who just checked in. Let me bring Toby up real quick.
All right.
Toby.
There he is.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, bro? Listen, we're covering wide receivers, bro. And I know we've been talking. We're using your clips on the breakdowns. So, I mean, I know things change, especially, 15 minutes before draft. But you and I have had several conversations, right? And we're big on Herring.
Right.
Now, Mike's question is, if Herring's gone at 3, are we locking in a Patrick Smith? Are we locking in a T. Williams? Like, what would you be locking in at that first pick tonight?
Wouldn't be taking Terrence Williams there just because there's still some early season type concerns. I think some of that had to do with maybe we didn't have a slot, so they were trying to figure out some of those play calls. But
right.
I kind of what you were saying earlier when Mike was asking about what if he goes off the board. I think he's going to be there. The Glacier Boys are taking a quarterback from what it looks like in the chat. I'm trying to pay attention as much as I can to what everyone else is looking at. They're looking at Izzy, and if they don't take Izzy, they got to take a quarterback. Zappers, they've got T.O., they've got Manziel. They're either going to take a quarterback to shore up if Manziel's not actually playing, or they're going to be taking a superback because there's not very many of them. So they're probably going to be going Ballard or something. So I think we're going to be good with that Herring pick because it seems like, everyone is going to be looking for him. As far as who we would be taking, I mean, it sounds like you guys have some inside info on Yeti. That would be who I would say to take just because I'm really high on Yeti. I've got Yeti. He's like my number one guy on the board. But, it's kind of hard because we got a long time before that second pick. So maybe it is a Patrick Smith type guy that we look to get. But
all right. So I'm comfortable. Richie, if you want to in the Discord, let them know what we're shooting for round 1.
Yeah, buddy. And then for round 2, it's really going to be dependent on what happens, right? Like all these rounds are a little bit like too early to be like, we can't be like, hey, this is our guy. Obviously we have rankings and insights,
right?
But I mean, it's playing it off of like, ooh, like what's everyone else doing? What's there?
Exactly.
That's exactly like this conversation for the ensuing rounds.
Yeah. So what we have planned is as we go to each round and we're doing our stream, kind of break up what we think is best available on what our need is, right? So we put ourselves in a really good position. If we do grab Hollywood at number 3, to where when we come back around, if there's one of those other 3 or 4 top receivers that we have listed on our thing, we would say, hey, let's grab that now. If they're not there, then we start really considering what does that O-line or D-line look like going into this week against the Kingpins. Am I wrong in saying that there, Toby? Coach
no,
Richie?
I mean, what we were talking about is it's kind of a conditional pick on what everyone else is doing. We're looking for if James Harden's going to be on the board, Patrick Smith's going to be on the board, if Yeti will still be on the board, like those type of guys. And if all of those guys fall, then maybe we go pick up, like Jacob said, we're going to pick up a D-line or a defense and an O-line. But, yeah, it's just a matter of what plays out. You know, it's kind of hard to see what people are going to want once we get through, like, those first few picks.
And question in the audience about defense or defense being franchised. They cannot be franchised, right? Am I
Right now, defenses and O-lines are not franchised. Will they change something down the road?
Next week?
Right. So right now you don't lock them down. But, you know, rumors in the FCF land in the Discord is there might be a twist coming where you can franchise specific defensive players.
Yeah.
Offensive linemen after the first 3 drafts. So then you can start picking up guys that were your favorites. Like, hey, if it was me after the weekend we were at this weekend, Slick Nick on defense would be locked in all day, right? So
and then we could rock his charity too. We could all just wear the shirts under our shirts.
The OTO only takes one. That's my dude, man. His charity is amazing. But you know what? You brought up O-line, and we had Big O, who broke down a lot of the O-lines for us and gave us kind of his cap on it. So let's talk about O-lines a little bit so everybody has a good understanding where we're at with the O-line discussion. Let's break down force field. His recap is their center, number 66, shows solid play strength when latched on D-line and patience when he gets to the passes. Sets but has poor lateral agility to match quick interior finesse moves. The center and the offensive guards showing minimal push, aggressiveness when down blocking as a unit for run plays. And their tight end shows solid ability on in and out routes and shows body control and hands to catch outside of his body while on the move. I want to start with you, Toby. O-line wise, who would be your top pick on the O-line? And I want to see what our stats that we've pulled together show.
Yeah,
Same thing with you, chat. What are you liking for O-line?
O-line is really a hard pick. Kind of what we were feeling when we were talking about it is that we think we can get the value late because they're so balanced. There's really, like, if we're talking about force field, we got Levi Shetler sitting there at tight end. That's probably one of the better pass catching tight ends. We go block party. We got some real good, nice big guys on the outside that are great for pass protection, but maybe they didn't really give West that, you know, space he needed to really break out like we think he can. And then the trenchmen and the wall, you know, they had some decent games. There was one offensive line that played for the Zappers that they looked like they had struggled in moments. But they also were going against a defense that we've kind of identified as being real good. And one thing I just wanted to say quick before we go too down the rabbit hole of O-line, maybe at that second pick also we look at the value of these man-ups. Maybe there's a guy that gets the power up and he's still sitting there.
Exactly. Those power-ups are a big deal. You know, if T. West pulls it off tonight, we got T. West in there who's –
I think T. West did not make it into the second round. I'm trying to pay attention, but you guys give an update on that.
All right, cool. So while he's checking that
schedule-wise, which we talked about in person, also we're the last game of this week. So any line or defense that we pick is
was a schedule change. We're actually the second game in the morning. So now that puts us in a spot where O-line technically doesn't have to be a major priority because we are getting a healthy one. And with them being so balanced, we can start paying attention more to that defense and our wide receivers going into this week.
Yes.
So
I think our defense played a really I mean, the pressure. I think that's one thing that we really talked about. You know, going into it is you can have the best corners in the world, but you know your defense has to give pressure. You know, and I really want to make sure that we recognize that Slick Nick had a great game. You know, and it starts up front. You know, so defense is something to prioritize in this league because I think yes, they did a good job balancing it, but it's sort of top heavy or front heavy, they didn't really get to that. So it's sort of got to pick.
Yeah, and it's hard, right? Because we got to look at how Kingpins played last week, right? The consensus with the committee is they were airing it out. So obviously we want to look at a defense that's going to have that good secondary for this matchup. So on our draft board, when it came to defensive breakdowns, we had a couple different options. You know what, guys? Let's check in with buckets real quick.
What's up, guys? Just wanted to go through my week 2 defensive rankings ahead of tonight's draft. Wanted to start off with the hard question you all might be asking. Why isn't D-Block at the top of the list? And the answer is simple for me this week. It just comes down to the matchup. We're going against the Kingpins, who have Terry Jones, who actually saw D-Block last week, and he lit them up to the tune of 7 of 12 completions, 109 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, and it's likely he lands on the Kingpins again this week. They'll be pairing him with Elijah Rogers, who they just tagged, who also had 6 catches for 100 yards and 3 touchdowns. I think without question, D-Block has the best pass rush in the league, led by the best pass rusher, Slick Nick Williams. But I think that matters a lot less when you're dealing with an extremely mobile quarterback like Jones. I think it's more important to have DBs who can stick with receivers and make plays when things go off script. So that brings me to my 1A pick for this week, which is Shutdown Squad. Shutdown Squad, for example, allowed only 6 pass completions in 2 games, 6, while playing a dynamic quarterback like Crouch for one of those. So I also think Shutdown Squad pass rush is quite underrated, with Champion and Jones grading out as some of the top D linemen when you factor in sacks, tackles for a loss, QB rushes, and cause turnovers. Champion, for example, was one of the few linemen last week that actually caused a sack and caused an interception. So I'm very bullish. I think this pass rush is very underrated, and we know their DBs are the best in the league. So Shutdown Squad, I don't think we can go wrong. I do think there is a 1B this week, and I don't think we're going wrong if we select the heavy hitters. So the second for me is the heavy hitters. They had an absolutely monster game against the Glacier Boys, led by Quantez Stiggers, with 3 interceptions. They proved they could handle a mobile QB like Woodruff. More importantly, in their other game, they held Galloway to 13 yards on 6 rushing attempts. So they may have the most balanced defense in the league. I think it's a little early to make that claim full stop, but I think that is a claim that we're going to have to evaluate, as we come into next week. I think having a rushing defense like that is super important against the Kingpins, as they led the league in rushing attempts last week. And after tagging Verges, I'd expect them to lean heavily on him again. So for me, it's this week we grab Shutdown Squad or heavy hitters. I think if we end up getting D-Block, I think that's okay. But preference here is Shutdown Squad or heavy hitters. The last for me is the Hitmen. They simply got lit up by Kid last week, and I think until they redeem themselves, I'm staying away. So Shutdown Squad, heavy hitters, D-Block, and then Hitmen.
I mean, he laid out the defense. And that's the thing. We love our defense from this week. But this team we're up against isn't really a run team, guys. And it looks like most of the committees that I've spoke to, people that I've spoke to on boots on the ground, kind of match with us when it comes to Shutdown Squad and heavy hitters being the 2 options we really should be looking at.
Yeah, so you don't think Slick Nick's pressure helps on passing plays here?
It does. But what we feel is the piece we were missing with our defense was the linebackers. So with them having a quarterback that will take off, Slick Nick is going to put the pressure, but if he takes off or throws, we're going to get beat up both ways. With Shutdown, and you know what? I think Matt just checked in. Hey, Matt, you back there? What's up, bro?
Hey, what's up, guys? You guys ready?
Hey, Matt, what's up?
Yeah, dude, it's draft night. It's draft night.
Oh, yeah.
Matt, I'm glad you stopped by, dude. So listen, we just played your defense recap, right? And you and I spoke a lot about that.
You look as good on this video as you did on the last one.
Seriously, bro. That
gruff is amazing. Sure, I filmed it like 5 minutes ago.
I can confirm that's a lie. So let's talk about Shutdown real quick, and let's talk about heavy hitters. The Shutdown Squad, for me, the biggest piece, hands down, is the fact that you have Marquell Osborne, the eraser, and you have Roman Tatum in that secondary. These are guys that were in your top 3 for all of cornerbacks last year with the FCF. And Ray Austin's over here saying Marquell Osborne, in his eyes, is still the top cornerback in the league right now. Granted, Stiggers had a really great game, right? So Stiggers really put himself in a position to grab 3 interceptions. I mean, are we in agreement that shutdown squad and heavy hitters really seems to be the way to go for locking up defense?
Yeah, and I think so. And actually, this to Mike's point, I actually think shutdown squads D-line's underrated. Like Champion and Jones actually graded pretty high, I would say, on like pass rush, like tackle for loss, quarterback pressure. I think that we're not trading a lot down in terms of like D-line pressure. I think it's underrated. And then we're leveling up on those like D-back, right, which I think is going to be huge for us. So shutdown squad for me. Yeah.
Now, Mike, shutdown squad's who we actually went up against.
Yeah. No. I'm not anti shutdown squad. I was just asking.
Oh yeah. No.
I just like Slick Nick's charity.
Yeah. Can we just tag Slick Nick? That's what we need to know.
Yes.
So let me bring Toby back, guys. We're almost close to when the draft itself is going to start. Man ups are going on. If someone's make sure to keep an eye on that. I know Toby's watching that as well.
Highest Boykin.
Finish right now. The one thing I was going to add on to what you guys were saying about the question you asked, Mike, about D-block for us, one thing we definitely noticed was that they were able to get pressure, but even Francois with that, like, extra above-average mobility, I don't think he actually got sacked one time, but they didn't actually finish off the sacks.
Yeah.
So I think that the D-line, if we're going against Terry Jones, I think they're going to have more of a problem than they had this past week. But, so we've got Curtis Collins, Shelton Lewis, and Mike Lee. They've got a bunch of ties on these man-ups right now.
Roman Tatum.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of guys that are sitting there tied up. So they may need to – so they're going to be doing a tiebreaker, a vote tiebreaker. Fans get to choose on who gets to advance to the challenge. Finally.
All right, everybody in the chat, make sure you open up your FCF app so you can help pick the picks tonight. We're not going to put the draft on the screen because the co-stream with the draft guys, it's literally like 30 seconds behind. So we want to make sure we're all working together. Yeah. Now, I also want to address in the chat, Drew Austin wants to see a different O-line this week, right? Yeah, Drew, we are thinking when we come back around in that 3rd round or so, we might want to look at an O-line. But I think we all agree that the defense is a higher priority because we do have a nice, healthy O-line regardless, as long as we don't end up with who's the one we were talking about it, and Toby, that we definitely said we do not want them. Was it
defense? I think it was
offense and defense. We had 2 for sure we didn't want for each one. So defense was definitely Hitman off the list. We do not want the Hitman.
I feel like offense might have been Trenchman.
Trenchman, right?
I think that I'm pretty sure someone said the Wall had a pretty good game.
Yeah. So
hey guys, before we get into the draft itself, could we just go over the importance of like power-ups and what that all means?
Yeah, of course.
Great question.
Yeah, so there's 3 different power-ups. There's the progressive 5th down, Wendy's flip the field, and I'm blanking on the last one. What is
remove a man off the field.
Yeah. Remove a man off the field. They don't have a cool name for that one.
Yeah. It was like remove a guy. That's it, right? It was like remove a player. They got to that last one. They were like, all right, screw it, remove a player. So the importance of it.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jigger.
No, go ahead, Toby. I'll let you wrap it up.
I was going to say, so you got those 3 power-ups that you get to start with, but then you can get these players that are playing in the man-up right now and get an additional power-up to use on top of those. So that's what they're battling out right now on the FCF Twitch stream.
And that will be, you'll get any of the 3 of your choosing?
No, like you get all 3 guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Each team gets 3 to start the game. But then depending on like these specific players, like, so we have Terelle West and he was in this. If he would have won, we automatically get that extra power up that comes with him. So
but
like
which of the 3 power ups is it?
Well, I think it just depends on like which. So I guess it's probably like the defensive guy is going to get. Actually, I don't know. That's a good question. You're on mute, Jigga. You're on mute.
Mistake. Still on mute.
That was, all right, practice.
All right.
Take 2.
Amateur hour. So if it's anything like they did last week and last year, they announce what their power up is tomorrow after the draft. So you know they come with an extra power up, right? So the defense, you got to figure with the defense one, you don't get to take a man off the field because their defense perk. So we can get a flip the field, but we do get an added one for every player that has a power up. So it does come in handy.
Significant.
It does. Yeah. So if you guys want to look at defensively, if Richie or Toby, just go in, just get a recap for us on who got the power-ups. Let's get that, and then we know going into the draft what we want to do.
Yeah, it looks like they're getting close to finishing up. They're in the finals right now. We got Izzy and Jordan Smith going against
who?
Well, not entirely sure.
Wow, what a terrible ball.
But yeah, Izzy had a bad ball there, so defensive guys getting some points there.
He burned him on that cut.
Yeah. So guys, again, in the chat, I know at this point, I just want to make sure we keep saying it. This is where you get to use all the technology you pay for, all right? You have us on this one, so we come out together as a community, have your app to actually vote, and then have another opening so you can watch the draft itself, or you can actually watch the draft in the app as well. Before the draft starts, guys, a big conversation that's been going on in the chat as well is talking about that slot receiver position. Now, I know we together talked about this, and we were high on Harden, and we were also, we have Drake Wells was an option, and the other one was, is it Heron? Is that right?
For slots?
No.
Yep.
For slots, it was going to be Elijah Rogers, but he got tagged pretty smartly by the Kingpins because they're going to be able to get their quarterback back, we would assume. So Roman Tatum just won. So it will be
shutdown
squad that has got.
So we know that that's the defense we want. That works. It's great to know he's got it. Real quick, since the draft's going to start, let me touch on that slot receiver. Hey, Toby, you gave me a breakdown on James Harden. Let me check it out.
I did.
You know, as far as slot receivers go, there's not a whole lot of depth there. We saw that in week 1, the draft. There was a run on them early, and we actually didn't even get one. And that may have hurt us as far as receivers knowing their plays when we were getting 3 receivers in there. We think there's a chance that James Harden comes around back on the board. The Zappers may not be picking him up in that first round since they've got some major holes, to say the least. But James Harden's a shifty guy. Obviously, you know, can work on the fly. He played super back for the Zappers last week when Shansi Thomas got hurt. So I think if James Harden's on the board in the second round, we've got to forego other positions, or we got to take him.
I couldn't tell with his helmet on, but does James Harden have a beard?
No, he doesn't.
No.
He doesn't. Yeah, I love the James Harden idea. I feel like it's one of those ones where the chance of him being there when it comes back, a little bit of hope in the order. But the hope is, so Peanut, you're in chat. You're asking about slot receiver. We agree with you. A Harden 100 million. Look, even GWR, Harden 1,000%. Yes. If Harden's there after that pick, it's, again, that's when we know we grab another receiver, right? If not, do we take the route and let's lock down our shutdown squad? The good thing is we have those just 3 differential picks in that moment, right? Coming back around. For the O-line, what we were talking about before. So the one we definitely said we didn't want was force field, right? We definitely don't want force field. But I think we pretty much had it to where block party and the wall were the 2 that we were really in love with, right, Matt?
I think so. I think Big O was scouting it. I hadn't looked too much at the O-line, so.
Okay, yeah. So Big O, with the order he gave us, and then looking at what some of these others gave us as their order, it ends up that we looked at block party and the wall being those first 2 options. It looks like Big O for us has block party in that first slot. And then if you weigh it out, it's really close with the wall being that second one, possibly could be first. So those are the 2 we're really looking at going into week 2, guys.
Yeah, it feels like those will be available. Block party should be available a little bit later. Like, it seems the chatter I'm hearing is like Trenchman is going high again, but I think we had that lower on our list. So it feels like a good thing for us.
Yeah. And last week we had who? We had
block party.
We had block party.
Block party. All right, so we know.
Yeah, we kind of like that because Block Party had those two big guys on the outside. We're you know, our strategy for run game is basically read option if we could every single time, and they've got the good pass protection. I think it was just that maybe we need to try and get ourselves more on that run calling that we're making sure we're running outside if we do get Block Party.
Yeah, I think the only thing we might be missing with Block Party is like the tight end, like a receiving, like a receiving threat. But if we get a big man like a Herring or someone like that, like I don't think we need that big target as much.
Yeah, and we've even talked about going like where you basically almost have 5 receivers, where you got 2 tight ends that are replacing both of those guys. And we've talked with Crouch where we're like, if we call this type of formation, we want you running first, then passing. Like if a guy's open, throw it. But really what we want to do is put this center one-on-one with a guy, let that defensive guy pick a side, and let Crouch just run for – he's going to get 5-10 yards guaranteed because everyone's got to be covering those guys.
Yeah. Guys, so I have a more like structural question here on just how we're operating on something that's super vital. So like injuries are going to happen throughout the season. Like being on the pulse of like who's healthy, what is our like insights there? Like do we have sources on the ground like where information is flowing?
Yeah. So the good thing, Mike,
of course we do.
Of course, I assume the answer is yes.
We're working for you. But the good thing is, guys, we've built it to where we are having talks every day with our quarterback. Ed Crouch is on the phone with us all the time. He's having meetings with us. He joined us for our committee meeting this week and gave us his insight on players. Well, we also made sure to have that direct connection with Coach Manny as well. So Manny's giving us—
that's including health talks are coming up.
Exactly. Yep.
Perfect.
And then for those of us that are in the Coaches Club NFT project with Coach Layada, he's in there. He gives us the info. I mean, at times they can't give us the extent of the injury, but letting us know, hey, you might want to stay clear from so-and-so this week because of the injury. So we got the draft.
We're hearing Yeti this week is a concern. Is that right?
So we're hearing a little bit of bumps and bruises on Yeti right now. We don't have the extent of it. But again, it's one of those, it's not that he's not going to be eligible to play. So it might be a risk if we take him. But at the same time, they're saying it's not going to stop him from playing.
Might fall because of that too, if anyone else is getting that same type of info.
Anyone else that we're looking at line defense that is a little bit banged up, that's something worth noting, or it's only week 2, so we're still good?
So the good thing with the defenses is the fact that they have extra guys, right? Because they only made them 4 units. So you do have those guys that'll fill in if there is an injury. So there's depth with the defense side on each team. But yeah, we try to get some of that info as well. But big focus this week was the key players, because let's be real. Same thing we talked about last week, guys. That first pick is basically you saying we're hoping this guy's going to perform like he did, and we're going to end up hoping to franchise tag them next week.
Correct.
We go into this again next week, and things will change 100% on who's going to move up the board. But guys, in the chat, they're talking about the fact that T. Williams is not a sleeper anymore, right? After we picked him, everybody talking about we had the steal of the draft. When we come back around in that second pick is really where we'll have to pick up the conversation again, right? If he's there, do we take him? If Harden's there, do we take Harden? It makes it kind of tough on which way to go.
What's everyone's take on that right now, saying that they're both there, Harden or T. Williams? Who we want?
I go Harden. I think it's great that he can come out and be a super back as well. You're allowed to use that in some formations, so it gives us a double up with that. You're not going to be able to do a super back position with Williams there. So Harden would be my choice, and I think it frees us up when you've got Harden running that slot receiver route across the middle. It opens up that run game again for us to really be able to have Crouch be available to run, West being able to run, and gives us that extra weapon with that big body. That's my take.
Yeah, maybe we get like some jet sweeps thrown in the playbook and really start, opening up some flex items. So, yeah, Harden's there. I think it's a no-brainer. I hope he's there.
The chat agrees. The chat is going nuts.
Terrence Williams our number 2 target, or is there someone else that we're hoping is sitting there?
If either Patrick Smith, which, again, these are ones we're thinking will not be there, right, guys? So Patrick Smith, James Harden, and then I know we also said in that mix was Williams being in that.
So we're Patrick Smith, James Harden above Terrence Williams.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
And then,
and I think especially on the slot, like if Harden's there, I think it's got to be the drop off for the slot tiers is like severe. Whereas
so look, Drew's there with us.
Luckily, we pick again quickly, like coming back the other way. So
exactly,
that's a positive.
So that's what's going to really help us if we're able to, exactly, Drew. Pat Smith is there in that second pick. Harden, T. Will. That would be an order there. Now, let me ask you a question. Since Mike just asked that question to all the committee guys, let's say Pat Smith is gone, right? Harden's gone. Do we go ahead and jump on T. Will right then and there and get that big body and then come back with that defensive pick? What would you guys do there?
What about this Tyus Boykin? I know he was. I was just watching him on Man Ups. I think Toby agreed with me in the side private chat.
Yeah,
he had some nasty routes. And
I sent a tape
red
to
zone's the
Jigga
toughest.
Him also, I like him a lot.
I know he's a little guy. He's not the size, right? I know we've been talking sort of about size, but we also need some speed there too. If James Harden, there or not there, this guy's still pretty young, 25, 5'8", so the little dude, but little dudes move quick. We need that sometimes. You don't have that time that pressure breaks down and Crouch is rolling and doesn't have that. You need that quick change of pace for that receiver to break off his route and start running with the quarterback. That's one thing we also got to recognize too is, yes, big bodies are good, but can they stop on a dime, change direction when they see the quarterback in trouble? Those are underrated things that we always got to worry about as well.
I think the short effective routes can be more into our game plan, right? Versus the jump ball that Tiki said this on a chat. He was like, hey, why are we doing all these 50-50 balls? Like, let's take the 80-20 shots. So like some of those quicker guys might be 7-yard play, but it's 80%, it's a 95% chance of success, right? So I think just that methodical march down the field, I would like to see implemented more into like our overall strategy too.
100%. And that's why, Mike, I think I love hearing you say that because of the fact that that's why we are so big on if Herring's there first, we're getting a receiver that does run great routes, is the big body and has great hands. Doesn't make it that we have to focus on another big dude till later.
Correct.
The wide receiver depth is so big. And that's why I think having that Herring first leaves it open to where we can focus on Harden and one of those smaller slot receivers as our second pick, and then coming back and swooping in and getting our defense the way we want.
Yeah, entirely agree. I would say Tyus Boykin is almost like the exact same as James Harden. It's just like a depth issue because they're separate positions. We've got plenty of receivers that we can look at, but we're valuing James Harden more because there's not as many slots.
Right. You have to grab a slot this time. Right. So it's one of those. Man, I'm glad I'm seeing everybody in the chat. It looks like a lot of us are on the same page. Draft is starting. Does everybody have their app out? Everybody got ready for the draft. Now, the funny thing is, what I love about the man ups, what I love about the man ups is the fact that you actually see people's draft stock go up. Right. I mean, Izzy being able to go out there and do well. Now you've got those guys that were maybe not thinking of grabbing Izzy. They might take Izzy right away. Even Tyus Boykin, right? Not a lot of people were throwing his name out there except you and Coach Richie, and now he performed well in the man up. Is his draft stock going to go up? Is he even going to be an option for us when it comes back to round 2 and 3? But I do want to make sure we're all on the same page. Everybody in the chat, first round pick when we're on the clock. If he's there, it's Herring. You don't get the nickname Hollywood, and you don't catch 2 touchdowns on 2 receptions if you don't have skill.
What was his? Did they throw to him what was his target percentage?
He caught 2 out of 3, 2 for touchdowns.
All right,
and they were nice catches too. Like made sure he got a foot in. You could tell he's got some awareness to where he was on the field. I mean, that first one he had was real nice.
All right, real quick.
Guys, this has been fun. I actually have to duck out for a minute, but I'll see you on Discord for the draft.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Mike. We appreciate you coming hang out with us, man. Hope we gave you enough info. Let's get this draft and win this thing.
Yeah, back every week. Let's rock this.
Let's get this man. Later, Mike. You know, we got to answer to the owners, right? And when they stop by, we got to have answers. All right, Drew in the chat wants us to recap real quick. 2 defensive names again. On our draft board, we have it as shutdown squad, heavy hitters. Those are the 2 that fall. Again, we're not saying 1 and 2. We're saying those are our 2 favorite going in. If we had to separate them, shutdown would be that first option for us.
I would say, yeah, shutdown squad's definitely going to be first option, especially now that that extra power up comes in.
Yep.
That probably should have some weight into that second pick if the receivers that we like aren't there, especially if, you know, someone else has already taken them once, because you can only take them twice. So,
yeah,
absolutely.
So shutdown, heavy hitters, and then third, if we were going to put one in there, would be D block.
Ooh, Dalton Oliver, Isaiah King, Chauncey Thomas, Malik Ellen, TIGI Hill.
This is an injury
These
report.
are injury report. Sorry to drop that. I just wanted to get the names out as quickly as I could.
Yeah,
we'll give a quick shout out to Dalton Oliver. I know we didn't draft him, but when I met him in week 1, he met my daughter and was super excited about it. And then he got injured. And as he was on crutches, he saw me in the back again. He said, "Hey, is your daughter having a good time?" The guy's getting crutched out, and he has the audacity to ask about my daughter. I'm like, "Bro, you're freaking injured. Take care of yourself, my guy." He was right. A really cool dude. He was really cool. But man, let's get it, boys. You got a 17-minute countdown. He's injured.
O-line. Let's talk about those 2 O-line for Drew in the chat and everybody in the chat. What we're thinking when it comes to O-line, we're big on. We said we want to. Drew wants to try something different, so we're gonna do it that way. Our one choice would be the wall. Our second choice would be block party, which was our defense, right? Or our offense last week?
Yes, that's who we had last week.
Okay.
Correct. Again,
we're still high on block party due to the fact that the guards we felt were the best guards in the line, including Ed Crouch thought that the O-line was great for those guards, and the center was looking better at practice this week, so felt that they could be a good piece for us as well. But remember, guys, we have the early game, so we will get a healthy, fresh O-line. As long as we don't end up with the one we don't want the most, which is force field, we should be all right. Correct. All right. Guys, looks like the draft is starting. Everybody got their apps out? Now, you guys tell me, should I put it on the screen? I mean, we know the lag is going to be bad. I don't think it makes sense for us to lag here. Let's all just work together in the app itself, right?
Yeah, I've got my phone set up on the side. I think
draft starts now. Yeah, Peanut, you're right. Here we go. TGP in the chat. What's up, bro? We got everybody here to hang out. Nico Shops, appreciate you coming by. Eagles Nest Racing is in here with us, guys. It's time to start this draft.
We say big shout out to Peanut for holding it down in the Twitch chat and the voice chat and Discord this week and last week.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because I had to leave out early on that audio chat too. So.
Yeah, I know we were in there together before everybody else. It was me and Toby talking to each other. Draft starts
Don't
now.
worry, boys. I had to get delayed. We had a crazy fight happen on our airplane in the middle of the air. It was awesomely terrible, and I didn't get in until 3:30 last night.
Oh man!
So like literally docked in Arizona. The captain came on.
Here we go.
17
Keepers.
years. I've never seen this. Oh, here we
The
go.
Knights of Degen.
What do you think of the aquarium? Man?
So the aquarium was awesome. I actually met Jersey Born and Ruthless Cutie. I saw a guy walking around the Bored Apes, and I had to stop him. And he goes, "Yeah, it's me. Oh, he's wearing a Jared Goff jersey. Our boy Ed Crouch.
That's all.
You know who he plays for?
He's wearing that retro.
The Rams edition. So he's probably just a Rams fan.
There's T West. Let's go. Oh, so guys, let me tell you, I got to talk to both.
Oh,
sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if we win this week, will GWR forsake the Kingpins and just be 100% Knights? Can we get a
in the chat? Tell us, GWR. Got to talk to T West and Crouch earlier. Helped them set up their MetaMasks. We're hooking both of them up with a Knight. They were franchised. Drew promised every player we franchise tag will get a Knight. So, you know, I think we're going to have that conversation tonight about a new PFP for both of them. I mean, that's just
a nice little bonus.
Yeah, my baby.
You know?
Got one of these at the Steeds event, boys.
Yeah, I got one of those too.
Very nice. All right, let's see what the chat's got going on. All right, yep. All right, so did we go into the FCF Knights room for us and make it clear?
Yes,
first
I did.
pick, Herring. All right, we'll do that all night, guys. Everything.
TGP's holding it down too as well, so he's echoing what we're saying. He's letting us all know I'm in there as well. So Drew's in there. What really I think, as long as we pull together, I don't want to. No, I don't want to switch at quarterback, like we had last week, a little bit of a rug pull on the quarterback situation because we all had a different mindset as a committee compared to the, the villagers or however you want to put it. But let's go, boys. I think we're going to be on the right page today.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. Let's recap the draft order one more time, guys.
Funky glasses.
Is he allowed? Oh.
What's Mitch wearing? He got a VR set on?
He had to get something from Aoki. That's the only
straight Aoki.
Look, we can't draft him, but Joseph Boykin, boy, did we nail that call of what he would be.
Yeah.
He was
I think there's a take somewhere where I said that he's the TO of the league and TO's in the league.
Literally verbatim, you said that. And we knew it. He just wasn't available, right? And we adjusted pretty well. But man, so good to see a returning player from season 1 like Smiley, Joseph Boykin catching 3 touchdowns, the walk-off. I mean, just so good. Definitely someone
him and Mitch Kid are going to be a little bit of a nightmare. We're going to have to, I think that's going to be, the Apes may think that they've got themselves up there, but I think the top 2 are going to be us and Aoki fighting in that conference championship at the end.
That's the week we want D-Block. When we're going up against Kid and Boykin, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna put it here.
That Hollywood Herring is actually very Boykin-esque as well.
Yeah, 100%.
I think we're getting a pretty good close pick with that. So,
putting it in the chat, people are asking. Thanks for tuning in. Those of you who just got here. First round, what we're hoping for right off the gate is Jacoby Herring at number 3. Obviously, we got to see what's going on with that 1 and 2 pick, but we do have backup options for what our other picks will be, and we'll jump on that right away. Right now in the draft, they are calling out those that were franchise tagged. All right. How about Slade Jarman? I mean, that dude did pretty well should have been stars as well. I mean, got himself tagged, played that good.
Doing the right thing if you get yourself tagged, right?
Hey, Richie, doesn't that look like that guy that was throwing us routes?
No, we actually had it wasn't him. I
thought it was Slade.
Yeah, you had Slade.
Was it?
It was. I remember there too. I didn't think it was, but then I went back to look at the pictures, and I was like, "Yeah, it was Slade."
Is it him?
Yeah, look at that face. I know that guy.
I know that guy. He threw me a ball. He said I'd done that before. No, me and Toby. If you didn't aware, Knights. Me and Toby had the option to utilize our real life utilities with our gold gloves, and what I think we both thought was just going to be them throwing the ball about 10 yards to us a few times and calling it a day. I don't know if that was how it's supposed to be, but I went in there. He goes, "What you want to do?" I said, "Let's throw routes, my guy. Like, I'm not going out there to just catch a 10-yard pass from you. I can do that with my wife."
Yeah.
So me and Toby went out there and ran. I think we each ran about 5 routes, and it was an amazing time. I think it really took up the FCF to another level. When you've touched the semi-professional football field like Toby and I have done, we sort of know that next level, not to say that we were uber the next level, but to see these guys, which I think sort of stand above, me and myself, I might have made the league, but who knows, whatever. These guys are awesome. And you're in the back, you feel so accomplished. You're like, man, I'm catching the route. Let's go. FCF, way to go, boys. Really proud of what this league is. This is only the beginning. It's only beginning. This is year 2. When do businesses start to make money? Year 3. Let's go. And I think they're ahead of the game. They're ahead of where they thought they were going to be this year. I really do.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, also, for everybody in the chat, I mean, this is part of our committee here, right? We've got Matt, we got Toby, we got Coach Richie. If there's questions you have on certain players or why you think we're going a different route, we want to make sure we're all in this together. Like, give us some questions. Let us know about players. We can give you some breakdowns on why they may have moved down our draft board or if you're just curious on why not go with this guy at number 1 or 2. Like, we are building this thing together, right? We're doing this not just so we can sit here and hang out and, you know, in my office. Look at that beautiful window. Just for the heck of it. We want to build it. So you guys ask those questions. And you know what? You might convince us. You might say somebody like GWR right now. I still like Yeti. No. GWR. This entire committee loves Yeti. Okay? And we are still on the boat of Yeti is still an option and in play if we can grab him. Nico Shops, why not Yeti? Boots on the ground, little insight, you know, might have a little bang up issue going on. So might want to stay clear as your number 1 pick for Yeti. Just amounts of research and getting the info that we can. So that's what kind of held us back from going Yeti right away.
Yeah. I mean, I've got Yeti really high on my board, and even I'm on board with the Herring pick at number 3, just because I think it makes sense. I think that as far as where the league is valuing stuff from what we saw in the last draft, from where we see other people's draft boards, as well as there's a severe lack of big body and height receivers. And we also feel like Yeti has got the better chance of dropping to us. Herring is like, he's not going to get out of the first round. Exactly. We're the ones stealing him off of the Stars or whoever wants to pick him up before they would even get. But especially with this additional information that we've got from the inside, that maybe he's battling a little bit of an injury issue, that you know, maybe he still falls to us. I think if he's in the second round, it's him and James Harden. If one of those guys is available, I like that a lot. Yeah.
Real quick, AB Latte 13. Download the app now. Do I need to register? Yes. Register. Attach your baller to it. Get in there. The draft is about to start, and we can call it together. GWR, agree. Can't trust everybody. It's all good. I'm a team player. 1, thanks for being a team player. 2, it's not just that. Like Toby said, we are also looking at our game plan as a squad. If you have let's say we do get Herring, having a big body like that with us being able to control the line, get Ed into better positions where he can roll out and T West can do what he does, it gives us where they have to put somebody and pay attention to Herring, and we secure that with a slot right after. We're in good hands, guys. It would be really great. And,
yeah,
everybody in the chat giving a shout out to Peyton. Hey, P. Coach Richie's known everybody knows at this point.
Yep. About 6 minutes, boys, on my Twitch. We got about 6 minutes until the draft officially starts.
Yeah. I wanted to add one more thing.
Oh, okay. There's a counter on there. I'm watching it from the app. I didn't even see a counter. I'm seeing the interviews and everything they're doing.
I'm not seeing a counter on the app. I'm seeing it on the Twitch stream.
Okay, cool.
Correct.
In the app here.
And it's less about why not Yeti, and it's like why Herring. It's like we all really like Herring. He played lights out week 1, can make big plays, but we also had him high on our draft board last week, and then he went round 3 before even stepping on the field. So we know he's not going to make it out of round 1. So it's really just about like we really want Herring with that first pick.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, chat. Come on. Let's talk. Let's talk, Knights of Degen. What other questions you guys have? Is there somebody we haven't talked about that you guys want to know a little bit more about? Because, again, we can come up with all this and think that we're doing a great job, and I think we are. But it takes one other team to pick somebody off of our draft board, and then we're going to have to start looking at our backup options, what we've got in place. And we'll keep bringing that to everybody all night long. You know, other options we've looked at wide receiver, right? You've got Maurice Thomas on there, who I think can turn into a stud. You've got Drake Wells, who's on there. And I believe Drake Wells actually played his college ball, and his coach was our offensive coordinator, Manny, right? So if anybody's going to be able to work with him and kind of get that kid where he needs to be, he looked good in practice this week. He's another option. O-lines. You got questions on O-lines? We've got the breakdowns. We did say block party was ours last week, right? So the other option is the wall. All right, so while we're waiting for this to start, let's check out Big O's breakdown of the wall. So his take is the center and offensive guards showing solid initial quickness to pass sets and good ability to neutralize blocks on the edge, creating a pocket for the quarterback to work with. Tight end showing marginal ability to create separation on short intermediate routes. Shows poor, or number 69 shows poor play strength to neutralize pass rush moves along with his marginal pad level after the snap. These were the things that kind of made him not put the wall at number 1 and still believe that we had a better unit with the block that we had, block party, as a better option. Toby or Coach Richie, whichever one, or Matt, what's your thoughts on the O-line there when it comes to that squad, the wall?
Go ahead, Toby.
Which team was the wall? Like which teams did they play with last week?
You know what? I'll pull up the full rosters while we're waiting for the draft to start for the O-line.
It's hard to keep track of the lines and defense.
Yes, it is.
I would just say the thing that jumps out to the wall for me is you're getting Chris Robb as well, which is huge.
Yeah. Having that as a tight end is really nice. So the wall is right there on the board.
But which
the other option we really liked was block party.
Let me see if I can. Oh, I have it right here in front of me. All I got to do is just click and look. So the Zappers had the wall, and the Beasts had the wall. So I think it's kind of a little bit of what we were talking about before. These O-line groups are really balanced out. I think that as far as the Zappers went, their game, Southwick was under duress all day long, but at the same time doesn't have the mobility to really help out those O-linemen. But then the Beasts had probably the best offensive performance of the entire week. So it's you're
muted.
Leonis talking about steeds on stream. Gotta love it. I did get to hook him up with one yesterday. Yeah, he got himself a nice little one with a gold necklace and a hat. He was like, that one looks like a G. I kind of like it. So we sent that over from the Knights of Degen committee, and super excited. He loved it, man. He's a big, as he likes to say, he has to do this first and say, I don't have a favorite team. But he's a Knight at heart. He knows it. He knows it. We are up in 2 minutes. You are on the clock in 1 minute and 36 seconds. Guys, get your apps out. Get in there and get ready. Look at your queue. Is he available? Jacoby Herring is there. We're on the clock. Well, as of right now. So we'll see when we get on the clock. All right. Let's get that reminder in Discord. I know TGP's back there doing stuff in Discord.
Yep, already doing it.
On there. All right. Will we grab Jacoby Herring? I'm curious to see.
I'm feeling like it's like a 99% chance we're gonna get him. I think we're right. I mean, we've been pretty spot on with a lot of things. Maybe the Vergie's pick was the only one that we weren't quite on there, even though we knew have Vergie's high. But I think that we've got this pretty down pat on what these other teams' needs are, and if they don't start taking their needs, then that means that in the long run, we're gonna be really starting to create some separation when we start getting to the playoffs.
Izzy is off the board.
Wow, yeah, that means we are playing against Fury Jones this week.
Yeah, probably.
Yep.
And that's so you guys in the chat know. I mean, we've had conversations where we were sitting there saying maybe we should grab a quarterback and stop the Kingpins from having a really good quarterback, right? We've thought of every scenario, but
it'd be cool if we had like the ability to playbook, because then we really could utilize guys like that. But yeah, I mean it's more of a
on the clock, boys.
We got Clay in the chat. Who we picking? On the clock now, boys. Herring.
Lock it in.
Let's get together. Lock it in. Herring. Jacoby Herring, wide receiver. Oh yeah. Does the community strike again? Do they work together? Does it
wow,
Harden went second.
Harden went 2.
Look at that. Harden gone. Wow. You know what? Think about it, guys. They're doing exactly what we said we could probably do. With him being able to run as a super back, now they got a slot and they got a running back. They don't have a running back. They're planning to come back and grab a running back second time around. Which makes me wonder. I mean, can a super back be used as a slot guy? Like say Malcolm Ballard?
Probably a possibility, but I don't know if we want to we run that
away,
chance of having a guy that doesn't know those plays at that position again.
All right.
Because I think maybe some of that issue last week where we had Yeti, Terelle Calvin, and Terrence Williams. Those are all three wide receivers. No one had probably been practicing in that slot position.
Yeah. Well, guys, we got a check-in coming in. Hold on, stand by. What up, Ed? Yo, what's good, man? What's up?
What's up?
You guys,
what's going on?
The newly knighted crew.
We are trying.
The newly knighted.
Yeah, it's a draft night.
Yes, sir. Hey, Ed, we're all pushing for Herring. How you feel about that pick?
Is that the guy you told me about earlier?
Yeah.
Hollywood.
We talked about it a lot. Hollywood.
Hey, if that's what we got to do, we got to do it.
Yes, sir. All right.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. We're in the suite right now. We in the
There we go.
Nice.
Whoa.
Keeping it warmed up. I
nice
like it.
Suite.
Yes. Keep it warm for me.
Yes, sir. I know y'all heard about my touchdown celebration I'm doing this week.
Tell us about
celebration.
They want me to jump on the second floor.
No, you ain't jumping on no second floor. You we
Crazy,
that right now.
They want me to jump up.
No jump.
No, you can play on the field and then you hop in a bubble. All right, that's it. You sit in a bubble till you're back on the field.
Yeah, we got to see a knighting ceremony.
We on the clock right now, right?
Here we go. We're on the clock.
Yeah, we got him. We got him, boys.
All right, we in there.
We got him.
Here we go.
Hey,
Ed.
I don't know how to flip the camera.
Hey, Ed, go meet your wide receiver and get him on with us.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Guys, I mean,
yeah, so those
love it.
Those guys are the real deal, man. They get involved with us. It's probably one of the most craziest experiences when all four of us were on the field level and these guys are just coming over and talking to us mid after plays. Yo, check this, check that. It even got my wife pumped. My wife is literally voting. This is the first time she's ever done anything with football. Nice. And it took her going to an FCF game. And she's like, all right, we're going back. Now she wants to go back to week 5. So coach might be there week 5, boys. So
now that we got our game moved back a little bit, I'm going to be in I told you guys I'm going to that Army-Navy lacrosse game. My brother plays it at Navy. So now that the game's a little bit later, I'm going to get my dad and my brother up on some night ballers so we can get some extra votes in here. They're starting to get a little intrigued by all the hype. But guys, I need to take a second. I got to go check on my ribs that I'm making to celebrate draft night. Ooh. And I'll be back in, 5-10 minutes. Make sure we get on this for this next pick.
We need to see those ribs.
Yeah, now I'm hungry. Thanks, Toby. All right, guys. So community, first of all, everybody in the chat, thank you. I'm glad we're all coming together. Let's meet our new receiver real quick. What up, Hollywood?
What's going on?
Hollywood.
Welcome to the squad, man. You ready?
Knights of Degen.
He can't hear us.
Yeah, it's hard to hear.
So I can't hear you. Hold on. Say it again.
You ready to represent the Knights of Degen?
Man, I'm ready to ball out wherever I go. But now I'm here. It's home now, so I'm ready to ball for y'all.
Let's go. Listen, we promised to get you more than just 2 touches for 2 touchdowns. Just get ready.
Yeah, that's all we need.
We ready. We ready. Yeah, man. Welcome to the squad, man. We appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all. I won't disappoint y'all. I got you.
We know. We know.
Hey, confident. We know.
We know. That's why we picked you. All right. Everybody in the chat, let's go. We got ourselves Hollywood on the board. Listen, the plan already coming together, right? I mean, to be able to say we got Crouch, we got him locked in, we got Wes. Now let's see how the rest of this first round plays out because it's a while till we're back on the clock. This is where we have to start
25 minutes
taking people off our queue.
Terry Jones at 4, Kingpins.
All right, Kingpins took Terry. Which we called that, didn't we, Matt?
We already called that, right?
And he played too well for them to not draft. Like, it would make no sense.
And, it was one of those things, too. They played it kind of risky, right? Knowing that maybe the Zappers would go with a quarterback, but they didn't. They went with Harden, left their guy there. Glacier Boys taking Izzy. That's big. You know, the Bored Apes were hoping to come back around and grab him with DeAndre. Yep, Peanut, you're right. 25 minutes to go.
Yeah, while we got some time, week 5 is the big week for the Knights watching the stream. You can make it to Atlanta. That's the week to come.
100%. We got the rematch game against the Apes. At that point, we'll be, you know, what, 3 games winning streak. It makes sense that week 5 is going to be epic. So what are you guys thinking? Richie, what do you think? Who's on the clock now? Aoki?
Yep.
I mean, am I wrong in thinking they got to go super back? They locked up Mitch. They locked up Boykin. It would make sense, most likely a super back.
Yeah. I had them taking Ballard here.
Ballard, yeah.
But I also had the Zappers taking Robinson. So I feel like Robinson or Ballard.
You know what? Hey, Ed. Glorious.
Get that boy some AirPods.
We're trying to see if we can find Hollywood Herring's Twitter handle. Anybody have that? Let's check Twitter. Let's find it. Let's tag our newly drafted first-round wide receiver. Let's see. Let's pull it up.
Oh, look, and who can get it faster?
Oh, well, then I'll just stop because I had to close like 30 windows. Hey, Ed.
Type it. I'm going to type it in the chat.
All right.
Oh, snap. All right, bet.
I mean, I don't think, you know, yeah, there was controversy and whatever. We moved past that. We got our QB1. This man, okay, Kobe boy. Is that
Kobe boy? Is
that his? Herrings? Is that Herrings?
Huh?
Whose Twitter is that?
That's Hollywood.
All right, cool. We're gonna tag you right now, Hollywood. Let's go. Our QB is handling it, and Coach Richie doesn't know how to handle internet. All right, it's me and you, Matt. All right, chat. Let's see. What was the there goes Patrick Smith. We knew he wouldn't survive past that first round. Wow. Patrick Smith on the other side. Boykin. For those of you saying, oh, it doesn't make sense to have 2 big bodies. Aoki is saying differently, especially when they have a smaller quarterback, right? I mean, Mitch Kidd's your smaller dude, gives you that Drew Brees kind of feel, making sure he's got 2 guys that he knows he just has to put in that area. That was a smart move on their half.
Yeah, so now receiver-wise, there's T. Will still. There's Thomas. There's Eddie. We'll see who comes back around. It's going to be interesting.
Right. Yeah. You know, and that's where it's big decisions to make, right? Depending on what defense is there, what O-line. Do we shore up that defense right there at number 2? And then maybe, you know, it's I guess we'll find out in 21 minutes what we can do. All right. I'm sending you it right now, Clay. It is sent. You've got Hollywood's tag info. There you go. Oh, I'm glad we pulled that off. I'm glad we got it. I think that's a nice big body, big hands for Ed to be able to get to. You know what? I want to ask Ed a question. Hey, Ed.
Yes, sir.
So we're not going to ask for any names, but if it was you coming back around for that next pick, are you going after a receiver, a defense, or the O-line?
It's only right we go for the man, that's tough. Let me talk to my agent.
Putting you on the spot.
What up, Wes?
D-block was our defense? Yeah. That's tough because they both contribute. That's what I said. What you want?
Well, they're still one.
Hold on, we about to do a little 30-second talk.
You go ahead, do your thing. We'll come back.
Yeah.
That's called access, people. We're building a franchise here. And
I love how involved that is. It's amazing.
Right? It really is. And then we got Clay in the chat. Clay is petitioning for T. Will all day. All right. Oh, there. You know what? They took Mo. Who took Maurice Thomas? The Bored Apes did. Yep. Mo's a good choice.
I feel like Terrence won Clay a fantasy league like 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
Been championing Terrence all day.
Be honest with us, Clay. Be honest. Is that why? All right. So they got Mo. Got to talk to Mo and interview him yesterday. All right. So we've got a text from Ed. He said the internet spotty is going to find another spot to come back on stream. Ed said, we got a solid core. Lock down the defense. Well, the question is, will they be there when it comes back? Yep, there you go. Clay admitting it. Little DFS monies. Uh-huh. Guys, I mean, our QB is saying we should lock in that defense.
Now that we know we're playing against Jones, again, I think it's super important for us to have the DBs that can keep up if he's moving around back there. So it's got to be shutdown squad.
Great.
Richie's back, and so is P. Hey, P.
Peyton, they're saying hi to you. Say hi to Jacob, man.
Hi, Jacob.
Hi. Come on. Is that not the greatest? Listen, we can have all the guests in the world on stream, but when I hear that, that's the winner.
Yeah. She hanging out. Mom had to go to the store, so we hanging out. She's Mickey Mouse scared her, but I mean, I'm excited. I like that Ed Crouch is so involved, and I think he realizes it today. Like when we ask him question, like, "Oh, who do you want next?" He's like, "Oh yeah, well, get him." Or wait, get him. But wait, they both could, they both contribute. So you're starting to see what it's like, as a player. How often do you really get to draft like real players outside of like fantasy? You know what I mean, or video games? This is the first time we get that opportunity to draft somebody that is actually producing on the field. So this is intense. And now he's starting to understand, like, oh, yeah, just go get him. And then he was like, wait a minute. Let's switch it up a little bit.
Guys, Richie, I think my feed just froze. Did the Should Have Been Stars make their pick?
Nope. Still says it on the clock.
I got him taking a receiver here. Oh, I think they made it. Yeah, they took Calvin.
Terrell Calvin.
Calvin.
Right. Yeah, we appreciate you playing in week 1 for us. Enjoy your new team.
Wait, what? They had the wrong logo attached to him. You done messed up, FCF. He's not with the Knights.
Yeah. He's like, I want to be there. That's home.
That two first-round pick power-up.
Yeah. All right, chat. Let's keep talking this through. But
yeah.
Shutdown squad's there. I think that's the route we go. Again, we'll stick to our plan, but we know Harden's gone. We know Smith is gone. And then we have that quick turnaround when it comes back here for that 3rd pick.
So we think the Beasts they're going to run it back with Stewart here, or do we think they're going to go? Is there another QB in play?
I think they liked Stewart, but I think there is other quarterback in play. There was a Chris that looked good, and then Bryce Allen. That's the thing. Are we going to stick with something we saw and we liked, or are they going to go and just right? I wasn't really rating a lot of the other quarterbacks. I knew we had ours. Right. I looked at a couple just to see how they did in game. And the ones that stood out were ones we knew were going to be franchise tagged. I think there was a big drop off from that point on.
Yeah. Stewart completed 3 passes week 1, but they were all touchdowns. So
Cecil Cherry, shout out to him. Got a picture with him in the hallway before the entrance with me and Peyton. Cecil Cherry, the one for the heavy hitters. So it's pretty cool. Real people, man.
So,
Real people playing
in
football.
the chat, we got people saying that they think heavy hitters over shutdown squad.
I'm not losing sleep if the community goes that way.
Either one of the two. We've made it clear, right? Heavy hitters and shutdown. Now, let me ask you a question, Matt, because you broke down defense a lot. Do you think, because last week heavy hitters wasn't listed and they were listed as the number 3 defense. Do you think they're getting that bump from everybody right now because of just Stiggers and the fact that he had those 3 interceptions? So now it's building more value as though they're that much better than they were in the original analysis?
I do think they are kind of like have that halo effect from the 3 interceptions that Stiggers had. But I think when you look at the consolidated kind of stats from week 1, they allowed kind of like the smallest average completion amount from like a passing distance. Yeah, here it is right here. And then if we're looking at rush defense, I mean, they're holding folks down to under 4 yards per carry, which no other team was able to do. So I think what you're actually seeing is like there's a balance there that came across in both games, not just in that one kind of like blow it out game. So I think they're solid. They're here to stay.
Yeah, I agree. Well, it looks like the Beast just went ahead and grabbed the heavy hitters as their defense. Luckily, we don't play them, but we do play the Kingpins. So it's going to come down to what are they doing with their next pick. Now, so talking about defenses, since the chat's bringing it up and we're talking about it, I want to say, so with the heavy hitters, I agree with the fact, hey, they did well on that rush. They were the team that gave up the most passing yards, though, right? To me, if you look at shutdown squad, very consistent on both sides. But did give up 3 rushing touchdowns, is that right? But that's between 2 games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So I don't know. I mean, with the team that we're looking at playing this week, guys, it seems like the whole point is he's going to be airing it out. And we know that the secondary will be huge in this game. Right? I think people look at it a lot as traditional drafting, like you would in the NFL, right? You want to get this guy because of that. No, this is different. You also got to draft with who are you up against this week? Who did they franchise tag? What are their weapons? And adjust accordingly when it comes to the defense.
Yeah.
Let's see what the chat has to say. Ooh, you know you're doing something right when you got Frothy and then you got Peanut agreeing. GWR thinks heavy hitters are overrated. Yeah, Drew Austin, they're gone, but they can be tagged a second time by a team. So if, let's say the Kingpins grab them, then yeah, we wouldn't be able to grab them. But if it's not a defense that's not playing during our 2 games, we'll still have the option. D block is best versus the run, I think. You want to take that one, Matt?
I don't know. I mean, just watching our game, I don't know if that's the case. I think we saw a little bit of lacking at the linebacker level. I think if we were able to get a couple additional run stops down the stretch, we win that game. So I don't know. Just from that game alone, I kind of feel like I disagree, but open to other opinions here.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're here for, guys. Everybody talk it out, figure it out. All right, second round is starting. How far are we from being on the clock?
About 11 minutes, boys. 11 minutes.
All right. 11 minutes. All right, chat. Let's check in here. Is it me or is the FCF? Yeah. All right. Let me hit that resync button, make sure we're in sync. All right, let's see. Yeah, no, Drew, we agreed, right? If one of those receivers was still there, grab the receiver when we're coming back around, and then the next one after that, defense. The question is, what are they going to do?
Stewart off the board for the Beast, boys. Stewart off the board. Jason Stewart, quarterback, off the board.
I mean, it does seem like if it gets back around, we have a receiver that we like. There's only those 2 picks in front of us, or 2 teams in front of us on the turn. We can probably go receiver then defense, but maybe a gamble.
All right, hold on, guys. I've got Ed texting. You guys keep up with the draft for a second. Let me take this call from Ed.
Are you not even going to show us the ribs? You're just going to come in and wipe in your face?
I have I've got just a little bit on my plate here. Hold on.
Okay. Terrible angle. You got to work your angles, my guy. There it is.
I don't want it to fall off my plate.
Come on. You're a media star now. Come on.
Yeah. You're the real deal.
I did take a picture of it, in full before I cut it to put in the Discord, for the real insiders to get.
You need to give us that that Barstool pizza rating.
Yeah. No, so every time I make ribs, I use Alton Brown's Who's Got Your Baby Back, I think is what it's called. Oh my God, it is so good. You don't even need any sauce.
Plugging right now?
Yeah, I am. I don't even know who Alton Brown is, to be honest. I think he's a artist, old time artist. But
Guys, I'm interrupting the conversation and community. I want to talk to you guys about it too. Ed is saying he likes the shutdown squad. He does. But he thinks we should go back with our D block. Here's his reasoning.
Yeah, he wants to keep Slick Nick off him.
He said, I do not want that D line coming after me. He said the only reason he believes the Kingpins had to do what they did last week was because they were stopping their main weapon, which is Daryl Verges. He said, if we don't have the D line that's going to stop that, they will run all over us. So he wanted to bring it to the community and say, if you guys really want my opinion, he thinks D block.
Yeah, I think that's a good take. I mean, obviously, we all were high on D block also. Yep. I think also we've got some guys that maybe are falling. Tyus Boykin actually just got picked up, so that was one of them that we were looking for. We've got, Yeti still on the board, and I think the O-line also we've got an opportunity to, to pick up late. But I think maybe we go with slot. What have you guys been saying while I've been gone?
Well, really, we've just been watching to see who's coming off. We're 7 minutes away from being on the clock, right? I mean, the community is saying, who else do we like at wide receiver? And it's like, do we grab that wide receiver? And then as it comes right back around, let's go ahead and lock down our defense. And then when we come back around, then we start looking at our best available and looking at the O-line, right?
Yeah, because it seems like shutdown squad, because they've got this extra power up, and then also heavy hitters are going to be like these defenses that people are going for. So I think that we're going to be able to still get our D block probably in the next cycle of our 4th and 5th rounds. And O-line hasn't gone at all. So it's looking like maybe our 4th and 5th pick, we get both O-line and D-line we won already.
That's the thing.
I'm going to say – go ahead. Wait, hold on a second.
Go ahead, man.
Hold on. What up, Ed?
The defense we had last week played against the Iokis. I mean, they played against the Kingpins last week.
Yeah.
D block.
Yeah, D block for us.
So that's what. Hey, you tell us. You really want D block, right?
Man, I played against them all last year in the championship. They ain't no joke.
Run it back with that Slick Nick.
That's all that matters. That's what it all go to. We don't know what O-line offense we get.
Right. All right.
So
we're gonna take
defense.
community. I'll come right back.
We go back with what we had last time.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Yeah, I'm just gonna echo Toby here. I think if we're getting D block, I think that definitely opens up, and we don't have to be in a rush. I think we can invest in other positions the next 2 picks.
Well, remember, we drafted twice before Kingpin gets their second draft. So we get 2 picks before we get the pick after them to get their pick. And then we get a pick, and then we get a second pick. So we get 2 picks before they get their pick. So if we want defense or offense and we want to prioritize one of them before they get theirs, then we get double chance to. So we can go offensive weapon if we feel like receivers are what we're sort of looking for in that first pick right after them, depending on what they pick. Because if they want, they could technically shut us out and say, hey, they're going to draft D block. They might draft
We're
D
going to
block
find
right
out
before
right
us
now
instead.
what they're going to do, right?
That's true. I forgot about that.
Correct.
Right?
Hey,
we're
Coach,
going to know exactly what we should do.
And also, all the slots we were really looking at are off the board now. So I think that, we've got some guys that are probably going to fall as well.
Is Yeti gone?
He's still there.
No, slots.
He's still there.
So Yeti's still there. Terrence Williams just went.
All right. So, guys, I'm back to the question. We know Yeti. We don't have full confirmation, right? They're saying maybe a little dinger, but Crouch wants Eddie. We want
the
Yeti.
insider info that we had said that he has had a groin injury that's been nagging him since camp. I mean, I didn't notice it last week. I was surprised. He moved even quicker than I thought he could. Like on that one where they threw that, it was like the second play of the game, the one where Terrence Williams had that block in the back. I mean, he like did a full spin move without even looking and got all the way to the edge like in an instant. So, I mean, I've said it the whole time. You guys know I'm so high on Eddie. I think if he's there, we got to do it. I'm hoping.
So let's see. We're going to look at it now. Yeah, let's look at it now. If Yeti's still available, I think, and again, let's see what these kingpins do. But we have that double pick, right? I think a perfect scenario would be getting that Yeti and then getting D block back, and then we get to keep building. Oh, Manny, Coach Manny, checking in on our stream.
No way.
He wanted to say, hey, he is okay, and we are able to utilize him as a slot receiver during the game.
Oh, bet.
Guys,
he might be the best slot in the game if we can get him and put him in the slot.
Say less.
All right, so guys.
Done. Drafted.
That's coming from our offensive coordinator. Up to the minute analysis, letting us know that he is healthy. He's good. We're on the clock in 3 minutes. We can use him as a slot. That was our big concern. Can we get a guy that we can run in that slot with that big body now with Herring? Guys, the next pick, let's make sure when we get on the clock, if he's there, are we all in agreement? Let's grab Yeti.
Yeah.
And then we go D block.
Yeti.
All right, Yeti it is. We're on the clock in 2
minutes. Posted in the chat.
Seconds. Let's see what's going. Yeah,
I already posted it in Knights. I already did it. Boys.
And I think Aoki receiver early, right? So they don't need another one, right?
Yeah, they went with another. They went with Patrick Smith,
right?
So
they're definitely not picking up Yeti. Really, Kingpins is what we've got to.
Yep.
There they went block party.
Who did? Aoki did.
Aoki went.
Okay. We're okay with that.
Yeah.
Doesn't affect our game, right? So we're good. All right, everybody in the chat, we're on the clock in 2 minutes. Yeti, if he's still there, we've got a couple picks before us. Yeti is the one. Actually, we've got one pick before us.
Yeah,
it's
just
the Kingpins.
one.
Let's see what the Kingpins do, and will Yeti be there? Yeti's the bet. Yeti.
Block party. Aoki's take block party.
One thing I was going to say, if it comes down to it, down in the later rounds for backup QB, in the extreme unforeseen circumstance that Crouch has an injury, Dentarius Jan would be a guy that, and I think also probably Alfonso Howard, although I haven't seen a lot of film on him. I think those would be guys that would fit in well with our game plan and our strategy, like the read option and making sure we're keeping the defense honest on the entire field.
So there's one that people aren't talking about. I've been watching a lot of his film, but Chris Barrett for quarterback.
Yeah.
If you look in Discord and some of his film stuff as well from practice this week and last week, the touch on his pass game is nice. Might be one of those ones that people aren't looking at all, and we can sneak in and grab him.
Yeah, I thought the Zapper should have pulled him in a lot sooner than they did.
A lot sooner. Yep.
Like after the first drive sooner.
Guys, 38 seconds. Let's go ahead. What is the Kingpins doing? I'm dying to know.
If the Kingpins take Yeti, GWR, you're a snitch. No, I'm just kidding.
Quick with it. Drop that mic. See you later, GWR.
Guys, 15 seconds till we're on the clock.
Yeti, oh man, yeah. If we could put him as a slot, shit, we are gonna have another hard decision trying to figure out who we're gonna tag.
We're on the clock. Did they take him? Yeti's not there.
Yeah, heavy hitters.
He's there.
He's there.
That means our defense is available also. That was
so we can wait on defense.
That is
so
guys,
we can wait on
Yeti.
defense.
Everybody,
now.
Yeti's there. Pick him, pick him, pick him. So wait a minute. Now we know that they've got the heavy hitters. Our defense is there. The question is, we don't even need to take them right now this second, though.
Correct. Let's go. We can. That's best case.
So D-Block has not been picked at all. Which offensive line were we looking at? Block Party did get picked once. And who was your number one?
It wasn't by us.
The Wall was number one.
The Wall. And they haven't got picked either.
So let's
we've definitely got an opening for another weapon.
Yeah, is there a skill position that's high, at least on the receiver list, Toby, for you, that is still there?
Let me look back up here. So if Yeti can play the slot, that opens up
so much,
quite a bit for us. Justin Times is still on there, and he is like, even though he doesn't have the same height as some of these other guys, we know he's fast. I mean, he could blow the top off for these, under routes and the things that Yeti's going to be running in the slot.
So, guys, have we gotten an update? I don't think I did yet. Can the defense, are they making it where the defense don't have to play in the same session? If that's the case, we might want to grab D-Block now.
I think that it was allowed, it seemed like they were allowed to play.
Yeah, what happened?
Right.
Can we get clarification?
Right now to find out.
Ooh, this is turning out to be a great draft again, guys.
Yeah, we're killing
it's playing out exactly how we wanted.
Toby, did you look at Leonard at all?
Yeah.
I did look at Vance Leonard a little bit. It was hard to see because the Zappers just all their targets went to T.O., and Vance Leonard actually wasn't on that starting line.
He had one target.
Yeah, the thing I noticed that it didn't seem like on run plays he went very hard. Like he was he's the type of guy. I mean, I shouldn't say he's the type of guy, but the vibe I got was that he's the type of guy that he's running the route when he thinks that route is in play.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeti. Got him, guys.
I feel like Ed's going to be pumped.
Yeah. Heavy hitters better watch.
I think we're doing good. Yeah, we're getting clarification on that. Oh, he does. Does he look like he's limping there? Or is he strutting?
He's just strutting.
You sure? Oh, I mean, you look cool with the camera. Don't pull anything.
Yeah, he's just strutting.
Okay, yeah, I mean, are we scared that Block Party
got muted again?
Won't be there?
Who?
Are we scared Block Party might go? Because that might be worthwhile here if that's like our number one.
That's why I asked. I think people were saying the Wall was actually their number one because we didn't like the tight ends that Block Party was giving us. But I think Block Party was our kind of like you had a 1A and 1B.
I mean, he did have that great touchdown for us.
That was a great route. I mean, you could even see it on the play. It was like, I hope Yeti's at this spot because it's going to be there. And it was just perfect. That was a great ball by Crouch, too.
And on that man up.
Way early.
All right, so, guys, the question is, we got Yeti. Stoked about that. Who did the heavy hitters? That's who Kingpins had, right? They have right now for defense?
That's who they just picked. Yeah, that was the.
Let's pull up the heavy hitters stats real quick. Heavy hitters
gave up a ton of passing.
Yeah, the Beasts and the Zappers had them week one.
Okay, so they give up passing. Great. We need all right.
They actually held held the runner to the lowest amount of yards per carry. But
all right, so we know we want D block for O-line, right? I mean for defense.
Defense.
D-block.
Yeah.
I'd be
cool with D block. And that's if, I completely understand Krause wanted to make sure Slick Nick's not in his face. It makes things real easy. So
yeah. Do we want to
if we can't get confirmation, should we go D block anyways?
Chat, what are you thinking? O or D is what we're all saying. I'd say we should lock down Slick Nick.
Yeah, another offense just went off the board, and it wasn't what we were looking to pick at all. So
perfect.
I think
guys,
I'm also with you guys that we just take the D block because I'm
D-block.
not unless I think it's just in times. Do we want to shore up and get in another number 3 guy or D block, keep him out of the face? Because I do think D block still gets our 4th round. But
let's play it safe. Let's grab that D block. Let's grab it.
The bird in the hand.
All right.
Yeah. All right, guys. On the clock. When are we on the clock again? 6 minutes?
6 minutes.
All right, D block. Let's do it.
I already put it in a Discord for us. Good night. Good turnout tonight, Knights. I mean, it's 27 of us and 27 of us here, 30 give or take, which is good. Getting those numbers, keeping us tight, that's what we need. We need a foundation. We're going to have those people that own Knights that aren't actually in our Knights of Degen NFT project. And we got to remember that because because you own a Knight baller, you still get to call plays for the Knights of Degen.
Hold on.
So a little bit of misconception. Top dog. Jacob, man, you look like a legit CEO, like on draft night, like getting phone calls. He's like, all right, who's trading? Like he literally perfect setting.
Yeah.
You just look at him.
He's taking care of all of the insider info, finding out what people are thinking.
Just hold on. Talking, wheeling and dealing. Building the empire.
All right, guys. Yep. Let's go D block. Let's go D block.
He's like, I just traded round 5, 6, and 7. 4.
We have no number 1 picks for the rest of the season.
We got baconators for everybody. And baconators all around.
Yeah, I mean, look, even TGP in there, right? I mean, basically locking down a great wide receiver 1 and maintaining our squad from last week. And
what do we build? Chemistry.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Right? Again, it comes down to next week when we have to pick that 1 franchise tag. That's all we get next week is 1. So we got to see who shows out this week.
Because that gives our quarterback and receivers more time. Remember what I said a few weeks ago? Because Coach Leota even brought it up to us. He said that Southwick, he was diamond in practice, but at the game, he sat there and told us that he looked a little under pressure, a little happy feet, and came up short on a lot of stuff when we were talking to him. So this gives our quarterback another opportunity to connect with the same offensive weapons to learn their tendencies because they got to be on the same page. A lot of these people that are calling plays, remember, there are optional routes, guys. So they have to be on the same page. So when you see cover 3 as a quarterback, you need to hope that your receiver sees the same coverage. And so if you're not understanding timing, you're not understanding. So this gives our quarterback another opportunity. I think we got really the best receivers so far, but if we can get chemistry, remember, chemistry is what builds football. Right? And it's timing. So if we can get timing under real life ammunition, because real life game is so much more adrenaline pumping than a practice. There's a reason why coaches say, what, Toby? Practice like you play.
Practice like you. Am I supposed to fill in the blank?
Of course you are.
Practice like you play.
We got to practice that one a little bit.
All right. Did we get?
I'm thinking about ribs right now. Ribs.
Did we put in the Discord, guys? D block.
Vance just went.
Yes, all that.
Why is my feed frozen? Vance Leonard.
Did we track down the nickname of the other? Ed mentioned someone nicknamed Baby Turk.
Oh yeah.
Who was that?
I always forget who has that.
I look up
nickname.
his number. I think he was like 25.
I got all
right,
the lists here, so I can find them for you guys. Here it is. Baby Turpin is Kelvin Felder, who is, I believe, was he on the injury list?
He's hurt. I think he's out this week. Someone to think about next week if he's healthy.
2 minutes till we're on the clock.
Are we going to get the film of Coach Richie and Toby running routes? Where do we slot you guys on the draft board?
Whew. Next year. Let's just say those 5 routes took it all out of us.
All right, chat. We are 1 minute and 40 seconds.
On hands, though. No drops.
Sorry, I pulled a hammy playing kickball a week ago. Now I can't move.
Yeah. It's rough.
All right. Jay Williams. Someone want to look up who Jay Williams is? Receiver-wise.
That's
to look at Williams.
That's a guy that had just came in, Jordan Williams.
All right, we're on it, Drew. We'll pull some and see what it is. Yeah, and agreed with TGP. If we're forced to where we still have to grab a slot receiver, yeah, I agree. Wells is the one. He was talking last night saying he wants to be a Knight on the FCF show. Would be good. All right, let's see what we got. 50 seconds on the clock. Now, this is the one where it'll be a while till it comes back to us again, right?
So, Jordan Williams, he's played at Ball State. He has 1 year experience in the NFL. I did not recognize his name, so I'm not. Jordan Williams Lambert? I don't know if this is the same person, but it says football player. Played at the Calgary Stampeders in the CFL.
All right, guys, real quick. We got 15 seconds. Are we locking it in? Is it D block? Let's make sure. Are they still available for us to pick?
Bring home the defensive player of the week. Slick Nick.
Yeah.
Lock it in.
I think it's the right pick for sure.
Trenchman gone.
All right. D block it is.
They took Jan. They took a quarterback.
All right. D block. Locking it in. D block. D block. Nico, our QB does not want Slick Nick in his face, and they want to stop Daryl Verges. 25 seconds to get your vote in. D block. Let's get Slick Nick to stop Verges, and let's make those adjustments. All right. Now we get to really write out the rest of the draft to figure out where we're going. I think we got a couple of sleeper options on receiver that might still be there that we're talking about, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping maybe Justin Times falls. I think that would be a nice pickup here in the 4th round if he comes back around. There's a lot of receivers that had come off the board too, so maybe people will hopefully forget about him for a little bit.
I think and we can bet on upside with this 3rd pick now. Like I feel like Yeti and Herring are so solid that
right.
Remember, we don't have to go 30 personnel. So keep Terrence West in the game. Make sure we're getting him some usage, and get him out in space.
All right. So looking at the roster, don't forget we have to still grab a backup quarterback, or we could just not and let them automatically, right? It's still showing that we have to do a slot receiver and an O lineman. We got T West checking in. What up, Wes?
Yo.
What's up, man?
What up? Oh, it's Slick Nick. What's good?
Yo, what's the deal? Back with it.
Welcome home.
2 weeks in a row. Yeah, it's game time.
Listen, just make sure you knocking that quarterback around, and make sure you tell that D line, just make sure Verges don't go nowhere, and we got this.
I can barely hear y'all. Go ahead.
I said, as long as we stop Verges and you keep slapping the quarterback around, we're gonna be just fine.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, I think Terry Jones has got some accuracy issues. So if you guys get in his face, we're going to be able to get him to make some bad decisions and get those guys in the secondary some picks.
Yeah, we're on the mission.
Let's get that done. It only takes one, bro. That's it. How to get that OTO in there. Internet over there. All right, cool.
Is there
Nick? He's happy to be back. We got this.
Is there a certain point where the value of Superback that's available, like if a Ballard is around in 4 or 5, like is that interesting, or do we not need that depth?
I mean, it does. I just didn't see a lot of running back route plays, right? Which I would love if there were more of that. Well, let's look at the players available right now. What is available for?
I definitely think it's possible if we are looking at heavy hitters, like we think we've got a better run game against them than a pass game, and we want to run read option down their throats like all game, and we want to make sure West is getting some breaks every once in a while. But I don't know if it's probably not the best use of a pick, but definitely there's some strategy involved in it.
You know what? Let's check in with our QB1. What up, Ed?
Y'all smart. Y'all are smart.
You heard it here.
We're locking it down.
Y'all are smart.
Let's go.
I ain't even had to come on the show. Y'all smart.
So we got Hollywood, Yeti, and D-Block.
Yeah, and West
y'all
can catch.
Smart. Yeah, y'all are smart. I like that. Now what? We got offensive line, backup quarterback, and one more receiver.
Yep.
Yeah, who do you like at receivers?
What do you like at receiver?
Let's go on. Cause we got Yeti and Hollywood outside. We could go Baby Turp hurt. Turp hurt.
Look, here's some options. What we got? Drake Wells.
I'm trying to see
right?
what Hollywood, who he like. Yeah, Hollywood finna let me know shortly.
All right, we'll check.
And Justin Times is another guy that we've been looking at that we like because of his speed to, clear out everything underneath.
What's his name?
Justin Times, the track star.
Okay.
Do you know anything about Jordan Williams?
Yeah.
Ed, what do you know about Jordan Williams?
Let's go, Knights up, baby.
What's up, bro? Hey, Ed, what do you think of Jordan Williams?
I just got here. I don't really know who everybody is.
Yeah, he just got there too.
He just got there too.
Let me see. I gotta see how he look. There go our guys.
So shutdown squad's gone now.
Let's go, Slick. There's our D block.
Yeah.
Hey, Ed.
Yes.
We want to put Yeti in that slot spot.
Yeah, that's where we gonna put him at. That's where we need him at.
Yes.
So we gotta go outside.
Right.
Shoot. Let me go do some searching real quick.
All right. We got 10 minutes till we're on the clock.
How many minutes?
We got 10. You got time.
I'll be back in 5.
All right.
Perfect.
All right. Let's get the QB to talk to the rest of the team and our receivers. Let's figure it out. So Kingpin already got their O-line, right? The Trenchman, which was dead last on our list.
They're basically stuck with Hitman, right?
Jordan Williams just went off the board for the Board Apes.
Yep.
So
they took Terrence Williams and Jordan Williams. Interesting.
Watching our stream, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you figure,
Wait, so Kingpins are stuck with Hitman, right? Because, Shutdown's gone. We have D-Block, so they can't get D-Block. And then heavy hitters are gone. It's got to be Hitman, right?
That's what I'm trying to find the past picks. It's really hard to find the picks once they've happened.
I like that if they're stuck with Hitman. Happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so Jordan Williams off the clock. Hey, I'm interested to see what our QB1 comes back with. I mean, still on our list, right? We still see that Times is an option, Wells is an option. Baby Turp is injured. That's why he wasn't showing up on the numbers when we were reviewing the wide receivers, Toby. That's why we couldn't find him for anything, which makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Who is our O-line is what Drew's asking. Well, we're about to find out in a second, Drew. For us, we thought for O-line anyways, the one we definitely didn't want was which one, guys? I forget. Let me pull it up.
It was Force Field, right?
Yes. Force Field, we liked Levi Shetler a lot, but we feel like they're lacking on the actual blocking, which from our own play calling standpoint, I don't think we did a great job utilizing tight ends. So if we ran it back with block party, it wouldn't be an issue. I know Drew said he wants to try and switch it up. The wall just went to the stars.
Yeah. So, I mean, I do. Again, Drew, since you're still in the chat there, Mr. in Paris, like 4 a.m. What is the biggest thing holding you back, Drew, from wanting the same guys we had last week? Because I think they did a decent job. I think our breakdown, the guards are amazing, and with Ed saying that the center's picking it up more this week and looking better, I'm down to run it back. Did we just get the Drew approval? We did.
Like it.
It's in the chat. How you doing?
I mean, I definitely agree with what Drew's kind of analysis.
I agree with that too. They didn't.
West had to work hard
to
get what he got. But I think he's the type of guy that's about it, you know?
We also didn't have anything going. I feel like if we had the passing game working now with the receivers we got.
The guys didn't know the routes. It's
going to open things up.
There goes the chiropractor, LaMarcus Carradine.
It is decided.
Guys, I think it's going to be huge. I'm going to put it out there, but if we do stick with the same offense, I think that's huge that they get to work with the same quarterback, same running back, same receiver, and then a receiver that's proven that he can catch week over week.
It's looking like the Beasts might try and snag block party here, which is that. Have they already got picked once?
No.
They haven't?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think our offense is.
Oh, no, they did. They did. They got drafted early. You're right.
Yes.
I think they went early, and we were like, well, that's okay because we actually weren't looking at them as a number 1 pick.
I think that's fine.
Number 1 on the board.
It's fine. We have what we want as our choice, but we know, again.
I think the O-line that we didn't like already went twice, right? Trenchman already went twice.
And Forcefield already went once, I think.
Yeah.
So we end up with either block party or the wall, which we said from the get-go, right?
Yeah.
All right, Drew's with it too.
Yeah, these next couple of picks are going to be pretty important here. Because I do still like Justin Times if he falls. We know the Board Apes aren't grabbing him because they already got receivers.
All right, so block party is off. We cannot grab block party.
They're already off.
All right, so then that means we automatically get stuck with the wall. Is that right?
Which was our number 1 on our board.
Hold on, we got our QB1 checking in with us. What up, Ed?
What's the name of the receiver you said?
Justin Times.
Justin Times.
He's a track star.
Y'all like him? Y'all like Justin? Y'all don't know? Yeah, they don't know about Justin. I'm trying to see something.
He's like the real fast guy. I think he was.
Yeah, I know who he is. I seen him in practice.
Okay.
So Ed,
I haven't seen him in teams or nothing like that.
Okay.
But I seen him in practice.
Hey, what's your feelings on the wall for offensive line? We lost our O-line already from last week.
The wall?
Yeah, here, I'll tell you who's on the wall so you can remember. On the wall, you got Abram Holland, Darian DeBrassard, Erlington Jones, Chris Robb, Zion Bird, and Razid Henderson. So you'd have Chris Robb as your tight end.
Let me say it one more time.
Yep. You'd have Chris Robb as your tight end.
Yeah, I don't know nobody on the wall.
Is that the only option we have left, Toby, in the app? When I hit players, it's only showing me the wall. Chat, let me know. Is that all you guys see too?
I see the wall and force field. But force field, I don't think we were liking for the run game. I thought the block party had only got picked up one time.
We got block party left.
We don't. It doesn't show it as an option. We got 3 minutes on the clock. All right, let's pull this up. What is going on? Ed, it looks like block parties is gone. We don't have that option.
Sure, we got to go with what we got left.
So what's another receiver you really want?
Which one? So we just got the wall left?
Yep, it's looking like that's all we got. Or force field.
But force field, we weren't liking your blockers.
All right, you know what? Hey, we're going to do the wall. We did some research on them. We had them high up on our draft board. I think they'll give you the protection you need.
So let's go to wall then.
Okay.
And a huge body in Chris Robb.
What else do we need? We need a slot receiver. Is there a slot receiver you like?
What's that slot receiver you said you like? Malik. Malik what?
He's on the injury report.
He's on the injury.
He's injured.
They got him on the injury report for this week.
So what two receivers we have? Just give me two of them.
We've got
remember, we don't need to take a slot because Yeti's going to take the slot.
Yeah.
I think it still forces us to. Maybe not.
I don't think it did because last week we were able to.
All right, so find out with the guys. What's another receiver you guys would really love to have?
How many left on the board? I can see the board.
Can you pull yours up, Toby? Mine's not showing me receivers. Mine's only showing the queue.
There is T. Chandler, B. Martin, K. Thomas, D. Hoffman, Jay Johnson, Tony Dixon's still there.
Oh, we got Tony Dixon available?
Keyston Fuller.
Keyston Ford.
We got Tony Dixon available too.
Tracy Gaston. Colin Andrews, I think. Yeah. Justin
How about
Time.
Sad? Is it a Sad left?
Who?
Sad. Cedric.
Cedric Bird.
Cedric Bird? Yeah, they like him.
Well, let me look and see.
All right, so everybody's asking how we got our O-line. We ended up with...
I am not seeing Cedric Bird.
No Cedric Bird?
So we don't get the wall.
What about Keon?
Keon's available, I think.
Get Keon. We had him last week. Yeah, let's go Keon.
Thomas.
I got chemistry
Thomas.
with Keon from last week.
Keon Thomas.
Right. Yeah. So we ended up with the force field that we didn't want, right?
Yeah. All right. We get Shetler.
Apes took the wall.
I don't understand why that would affect us, though.
Yeah.
All right.
It might be that same situation we thought about earlier, only one session per game, like Toby was saying earlier about the defense. So it might have blocked us out.
I think it was just a matter that the other O-lines were already picked twice, if you look at the draft board. So there was no choice but to be defaulted. So we're defaulted to force field. We're on the clock now. What are we going with?
I mean, he said Keon Thomas. He felt like he had some rapport with. So, I mean.
I thought he said that he had him, like, from last week, but I didn't think he
We didn't have him last week. Guys, I'm going to go
7 seconds.
I'm going Drake Wells. That's where I'm going. I think they're making Wells and Times would be the two that we look at.
Yeah,
I know.
It might be up in the air a little bit, but
yeah, see, Murder, we agree. It's the way it works with it only being 4 O lines. If they get picked before it comes back around to us 2 times, they're automatically done. So we got defaulted to force field.
Yeah.
Not ideal, but we still get them early, and that'll be the only time they've played that day. So we do get at least a fresh one. Did it say what we got?
I think there's actually still a pick before
Keon
us.
Thomas. We ended up getting Keon. You're on mute, Jacob.
Yeah, probably because we were
Moving
talking
too many
about him
things.
before. We waited.
It's still saying we
Yeah.
almost not either, but I guess that won't matter.
I think that's just probably for sake of roster, but I mean, at the coach is probably going to put him in a position like that, you know?
How did Aoki get an auto pick? What is that? Nobody voted? That's weird.
Huh. All right, what are we thinking here? How many rounds
We
are
only
left?
What do we have left to fill?
If you click on roster, it says we still need a slot receiver and a backup quarterback because it's showing Jacoby and Keon as flex positions. Yeti as wide receiver, which obviously we can work. Manny's going to fix all of that. I mean, he's already messaging me that we're using him in the slot.
Perfect.
But because of the way the draft board's set up, we still need to grab a backup quarterback and a slot receiver.
Well, we can't get like a Drake or a Harrison, and they can also double as backup superback from slot.
Right.
Yeah, I think you guys were talking about Harrison Dreyer a little bit too.
Yep. And then Drake Wells, again, that's the one that is Coach Manny's kid since college.
Manny, yeah.
And he was talking about it last night on the FCF show. He wants to be a Knight of Degen.
Yeah, he did. He said he wanted to be a Knight.
Peanut is going hard for Drake in the chat. I feel like.
All right, you know what? I agree. It comes back.
Let's go, Peanut.
In 4 minutes. Let's go, Drake Wells. Let's do it.
Just like that, you get your voice heard.
That's right. We're a community, people.
Honestly,
Drake
I think
Wells.
we have so many weapons that our offensive line shouldn't be too much of an issue. And if we do notice that it's an issue, we can put our tight ends in at that spot and let ourselves run wide. We got Epa still at center, I think, on that list or on that the offensive line.
I mean, we got the biggest dude in the.
He's massive.
Yeah, I do want to say, coming with the silver lining, Stathead was stumping for Epa all day long last week.
Yep. All right, we are on the clock in 3 minutes.
Has Malcolm Ballard not gone off yet?
No. You know what's weird is I don't know if you guys are dealing with this. So here's what my issue is. I go to players, there's nothing showing. It only has all the ones that I put in my queue. So good thing everybody.
I've almost stopped using the app. It seems like the Twitch stream has got better responsiveness.
That's so weird. All right, community.
Oh, there goes Harrison Dreyer.
That's all right. Drake Wells, come on. Is Drake going to be available? Let's see. Questions in the chat. Yep, pancakes for pancakes. That was Epa's pitch on the pitch room.
Oh, yeah, he's a pancake guy. That's right.
So we only can get a backup quarterback and a slot receiver at this point, right?
And I mean,
yeah. So Drake Wells it is. Let's make that our next pick.
Yeah.
Dentarius after that.
And then what's left for
backup quarterbacks? Got D. Gibbons, A. Howard, got Woodruff, Barrett, Southwick.
Oh, you know what?
Horton.
How did Vidal looked okay in this last week? He looked decent, and he looked good in the man ups for a little bit. I mean, I don't think he got the power up, right? He fell short. But I wouldn't mind having Vidal as a backup to Crouch.
One fumble.
There were a lot of turnovers against the heavy. That was the Stiggers game where they went off. But
yeah, he had 3 interceptions, 1 fumble.
But he did get a lot of reps unexpectedly because, like, Oliver went down, he had to jump in. He's athletic. I think it.
The other guy we were talking about was Chris Barrett. That didn't get a ton of snaps, but he threw that touchdown to T.O. at the end. I think that was basically his only drive, was the drive they went down.
You know what? Then let's take the arm that threw the T.O. touchdown. I mean, it just has a good ring to it. As a backup, the T.O. touchdown thrower. All right.
1 minute, boys. 1 minute.
You're on the clock. All right, first one. Let's go with Drake Wells as long as he's still there.
Yes, he is.
46 seconds. 44.
And that'll give Manny another option if wants to bring Yeti to that wide receiver 2 spot. Bring Wells in.
All right.
In case we're not sure on the Keon Thomas link.
What does Zappers end up doing?
Something dumb, probably. They keep making some pretty questionable calls.
Well, the app feed.
Zappers.
I mean, what, you don't want to throw 30 times to one person?
What?
Not particularly.
I mean, I've never been a part of that before.
I understand the move last week. I think it may have been a little bit of a league push to make sure T.O.'s got some type of content because, I mean, they were right.
We're on the clock, boys. We're on the clock, community. Let's go ahead and lock it in. Drake Wells.
Nice.
Lock it in. Drake Wells. All right. And then let's look at the roster. There's only one round after this left, right?
Yo,
we got 2, but we got Force Field locked at 7. So
that's right.
The future #1 fan IQ of the Knights of Degen community smoke in the chat now. Happy 420, dude.
Hey, Smoke. What's up? All right. So show it to us. Let's go. Guys, while we're waiting for them to announce where we're at, let's just go through this roster real quick. Ed Crouch. Terelle West. We got D-Block like we wanted. We got Yeti. We got Jacoby Herring. Then on top of it, we added in Keon Thomas. And it looks like hopefully in a second it's going to be Wells as well. I think we're doing all right.
Got him, boys.
Got him. All
yeah,
right.
I think only thing is we let offensive line get away from us a little bit, but that's nothing we can't come back from.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, where were we going to take them? We got the first 3 picks exactly how we wanted it. Right. We got Hollywood, we got Yeti, we got D-Block, and then
and we talked about it, right, Toby? I mean, this week is again, we don't have that night game. Next week, we really will have to make O-line a priority because we know we've got the last game of the night. Again, you know what I mean? So we're gonna want to lock in the one we really want. But hey.
Now we do have Aoki next week, so I definitely think we got to put some priority on that defense because they are going to have a high-powered offense.
Yeah. All right, so what are we deciding on the backup quarterback?
I think my vote goes for Chris Barrett.
All right. Richie, what are you thinking?
I mean, I'm down. That's the one that threw the bomb to T.O., right? I mean, give the kid a chance, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt?
Give me Vidal is my take, but I can go Barrett.
All right. Chat. We've got some time till we're back on the clock. What are you guys thinking?
I always expect the chat to respond back after that, because it's like, oh yeah, chat, what are you thinking? And just like the chat just starts coming at it and starts telling.
So Horton was the one that threw the touchdown, not Barrett?
No, it was Barrett.
Yeah, I'm gonna trust
because he didn't get drafted because he just got there, so they put him on the zapper since Manziel wasn't playing.
So,
but Laquan Horton would be a decent backup also.
I pulled up the stat that they haven't attributed to Horton. Horton had,
they've got a lot of stats that are wrong.
I can see that too.
Didn't you say that Vance Leonard had 8 catches on their stat sheet?
Yeah, but I saw what was wrong. They attributed, I think it wasn't Patrick, it was someone else, maybe Felder. They attributed like someone's stats like right below it to him.
Yeah. But okay.
Right, so Peanut's saying Laquan Horton threw the touchdown.
Horton also had one rush for 30 yards.
All right. Listen, you guys tell me for sure.
I've actually got the film right here. So I'm going to take a look.
Yeah, pull it up. I want the arm that threw the touchdown. The TO touchdown arm. And you said Horton ran for 30-something yards?
Yeah, TGP says Horton's in the chat in FCF General stumping for himself. So I kind of like the spirit.
Ooh. What up, Ed?
Hello?
What up, bro?
So what we got at O-line?
We didn't get to pick the O-line. They gave it to us.
Who they gave us?
We got Epa. Force Field, yep.
We could do it. We can work with it. It don't matter.
You got Epa.
And we got that big Chris Rob, right?
Levi Shetler at tight end.
Yeah, we good. It don't matter.
We'll make it work.
Let's get number 11. What's it? Quarterback then? Let's get Young.
We were looking at
Young.
Yeah, Young's gone. We were looking at Laquan Horton.
Laquan Horton.
The one that threw the touchdown to T.O.
Laquan Horton.
Young
gone.
Here's your options so far. This is what we got as of right now. You got Danny Southwick, Laquan Horton. You got Jan and Chris Barrett.
Chris Barrett. Y'all know who Chris Barrett is?
Yeah. Number 18 is the guy who threw the touchdown to T.O. I'm pretty sure it's...
It's crazy how they all practice because they all just, probably so many players running around over there.
Asking to see what we should do.
And everybody's changing numbers.
What are you guys needing? We still got 10 minutes till we're back on for a backup quarterback.
Not that I want to pick him, but I do think that Southwick just probably had an awful game. Like, I think there was probably some jitters because he's throwing to T.O. And
we don't need a guy.
A lot of pressure.
We're not going that pick.
No, I'm not saying pick him, but I was just wanted to make sure that it was at least we're not like throwing Southwick entirely under the bus. I think he got a hard pull last week.
How about Vidal?
Let's go. You must be talking about number 18. What's number 18 name? Quarterback.
I'm pretty sure it's Chris Barrett.
Horton on there?
Yeah, that's who we were saying.
Let's go Horton.
All right, that's what we'll do.
All right, sound good.
All right, we'll be back. Same page, right? We were saying Horton as an option. Did we confirm? Was that the one who threw the touchdown to T.O.?
I can't. The problem is, like, I have the film up here and I'm looking at it, and like, I can't see the back of his jersey.
All right, you know what? Let me check here because it was all over all the articles, right? With T.O.
Yeah, it's all over everything. But yeah, it's whoever number 18 is for the Zappers. Maybe, but the problem is on the Zappers roster, he's not there.
Yeah, on the roster, they only have Manziel and Southwick listed.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to see if it shows. Yep, confirmed. Horton. That's who it was that threw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
I think Southwick's got an arm, but the gameplay would be so different if Krause
it does not work for us. Yeah.
So I mean, really, the only one we really missed on was the structure of our O-line, right? Which is a big deal, because the O-line. I'm still going to be happy with the fact that at least we know we're getting a fresh O-line. Now, people in the chat say next week we need to lock in O-line and D-line with our first 2 picks.
I agree.
I agree. We made the move to where
100%.
we got a big receiver that we want. We've got a couple options on who plays well this week to lock in, right, as our next franchise tag.
Right. Yeah, top 2 picks. We wanted to get a guy that we get to actually keep.
Chemistry. Remember, let's not forget about that, boys. I mean, that's it's a big part of the game out there. So get some chemistry between those quarterbacks and receivers, especially, is huge. So see who balls out this week. Hopefully somebody balls out for us and we can get that rapport going even more. And we'll lock in what we think we need to get into next week.
Yep. I mean, we're in a perfect position going into like down the stretch down the season. We have a legit shot at 2 playmaking wide receivers to tag after this week with Yeti and Herring. And so I think we set ourselves up perfectly.
Yeah, I love Yeti, and I still think the tag will probably end up being Hollywood.
Right.
Because it doesn't look like the rest of the league is valuing them. We keep being able to pick them up late.
And I'm just going to say we're going to be picking towards the end of the first round after this week. We're picking up that dub this week.
Yeah, no question. So, we'll have to make a quick move. And then let's be real. I mean, other FCF fans are probably thinking the same thing for their teams right now, right? So next week's going to be an interesting draft for sure. To answer your question, Frothy, we're all thinking Laquan Horton as our backup quarterback. Anybody want to throw it in the Discord? Let them know. I bet you that's where all these whatever. Sharing our picks, and all of a sudden they're gone 2 picks before us. Seemed like there's some monkey business going on. You saw what I did there? No? All right, whatever.
I did. I thought you throw the banana, kick yourself out. Is that how you do? Just kick yourself out. See you later.
Monkeying around.
Oh, man. Boys, good draft.
All right, 5 minutes till our last pick.
I think we'll be all right, boys. And this weekend, the cool thing is nice, so they go back.
All
and
right.
watch.
Great.
I'll write about the Force Field. I'm going to go back and rewatch their gameplay this week, and so
I was going to do the same thing.
What they're right. It's any given Saturday. I mean, no, it's not Sunday, but anything can happen. I literally watched that thing on the flight home because I had so much extra time. I watched 3 football movies. I watched, 2, The Replacements and The Longest Yard. So, I was in football mode all weekend.
Great mode to be in.
One thing about the Force Field is someone drafted them really early. They drafted round 2
Zappers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were high.
Maybe that's not the biggest endorsement.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I will tell you guys right now, and I'll share it now that we've already got the O-line situation done. 2 of the reports that we got from people on the ground, out of the 4 that we have, 2 of them actually had Block Party ranked as their last offensive line unit. And then the other 2 agreed with us that, hey, great guards, put them together. Force Field was between 2 and 3 on every single one of their lists. So maybe, they're seeing obviously every day in practice what we're not seeing. We're basing a lot of it off the game, off of, the pieces that are there.
Correct.
And, I think we just as play callers need to know what our personnel is. Make sure we got Levi Shetler on the field. And
but you know what's great too, Toby? We all know that T West is great at the cutback.
Yep.
Correct. Having Epa taking up that whole center bodes well for T West to be able to just give his cut when Epa's, pancaking people. Have a good night, Blades of Steel. Appreciate you, man. Yeah. And what's good is we're doing enough work to know when it comes to play calling too, right? We're going to know how to utilize this O-line better, and we'll get with Ed tomorrow. We've got a big call with him. We're on the clock in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Queuing up Laquan Horton.
Vidal just went off.
No, see, he would have been gone anyways.
Already got the game film pulled up, boys. Ready to dive in here. Watch some game film after we get done with this draft.
The 8's just getting another one that's been name dropped in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, Hollywood getting wait.
Yeah, Hollywood's getting interviewed right now.
Yep.
Hey, you know what? And it's good when you have a quarterback who says, he just texts me, he's like, you guys getting Horton, right? So it's good when the starting quarterback wants to get along with his backup quarterback. That can only bode well.
Yeah, I think that's if there's any pick, we're letting Ed pick for sure. It's who's going to back him up. That way he knows this is entirely his pick. We're not picking up a guy to get, take reps off him. Not that he should ever think that anyway, but I like Hollywood's fit for sure.
Yeah.
And he came out the gate. He said, yeah, I'm back with my boy, Ed Crouch, So, I mean, already right there, syncing up. That's what we want to hear. He's excited. 1 minute, boys. 1 minute, boys.
He sees it the way we see it, boys.
Yep.
He said, you got Terrell, you got me, you got the 1-2 combo with Ed Crouch MVP. Let's go. What I like, too, is you've got such a humble dude in T. West. You got a leader in Ed Crouch. And then you got a little bit of that cockiness and swag from Hollywood, right? Like, that's a nice balance. Then you got Yeti, who's Mr. I can do it all, happy as can be, right?
Do it all.
But then when he's on the field, he got that anger, too. Whew. I'm excited for the
he runs hard. Together. Yeti runs hard after he catches that ball.
On the clock, 16 seconds. Lock
the
it in.
second he catches it, he starts looking like a running back.
Yes.
But a running back that's like quick, like Reggie Bush.
A little Debo Samuel, maybe.
Yeah.
So you know what? While we're waiting for the pick, we're on the clock now.
Right.
Laquan Horton.
Yo, Debo's looking for a new team. What's our budget?
Right?
Yeah.
Not enough.
NFL contract won't let him come over here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're waiting for them to announce our next pick. Tell everybody in the chat.
Get out of here.
Number one, appreciate everybody in the chat, guys. The more of us we have in here working together is how drafts end up going so well. And I just love having everybody here to talk it out and ask the questions. Super engaging. Loving it.
Yeah.
After next week's draft, we're still going to continue to put on a show, our own show of pre-game on Wednesday nights. So you'll be able to tune in, talk game plan. We're going to have our guys from our team that'll be on here talking things through. So we got a lot of stuff. We won't actually tell the people what the game plan is so they don't tune in and watch, but get to know the guys that we have on our squad and let them tell us things they're seeing out there. Thursday night, tomorrow night, it's night shift night, guys. Come on over. I think it makes sense. I need to line up a couple of guys. What do you think? We get a Hollywood Harry tomorrow?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we brought the last guys in, right? Let's go ahead and bring a couple of the new guys on. I'll work on that tomorrow morning. We'll have them on the show for night shift. Did we lock it in?
Yep, Laquan Horton.
Laquan Horton. It's in.
All right, boys.
Zaps are trying to go back with Southwick again. As if they need another QB.
Right?
Well,
they don't know who's going to show up or not. Or if you watch Spicy Peanut decided to air out his grievances yesterday and his feelings about Johnny Manziel, I'll just say Peanut publicly on the FCF show made it clear he wants to fire Johnny Manziel. his take, not mine. He said, fire the guy.
Our peanut or a Zapper's peanut?
No, our peanut. Yeah. Spicy peanut segment on the FCF show every Tuesday. You can see him on there, and that was his take of the week. Toby, Matt, Coach Richie, appreciate you guys hanging out all night.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Looking forward to our next meeting, and you guys have a good night, bro. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for tuning in. I think we nailed this draft. Can't wait to get with everybody, see what happens. Tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, check out the night shift. We'll have some of our players that we drafted on the show. Come hang out, get updates from the community, have a great time. I think this was a pretty epic draft. I mean, so epic it ends on one of those, how you doing? I just had no choice. I have to drop that in there. Guys, have a great night. Appreciate you all.